week.
To regain the balance that brought them edge.
Jeff Brom, how in the world are you starting this game tonight after taking that hit just 6 days ago?
Is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. Do I or do I not currently have a pulse? Yes, I do. Let's play football.
And if Jeff Brom is feeling any ill effects from that Shante Carver hit, he has not shown it tonight. He has kept his poise. Touchdown! Hang him high! Touchdown, Orlando! Jeff Brom is the guy who made this play.
The spirit of Tommy Maddox.
It's definitely XFL.
Tommy is really the heart and soul of this team.
Tommy Maddox, the gunslinger.
Tommy Tantrum. When he's hot, he is really hot. Maddox throws into the end zone. Touchdown!
Tommy Maddox is brilliant.
The LA General. There you see the man, number 8, Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox throws a strike.
Tommy Maddox, can he work his magic? Miracle Maddox.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the XFL on display tonight.
Is this or is this not the XFL? Yes, it is. Let's play football.
A fitting start here from Los Angeles today, where LA Xtreme fans are expecting explosives of the football variety all day. The Xtreme faithful have seen their team home only one time in over a month, but the X-Men are back to see what could be a preview of the big game at the end. Today from the historic LA Coliseum, it's the undefeated Orlando Rage out of the East taking on the first-place Western Los Angeles Xtreme. The Rage so far, the class of the XFL, they're 6-0, and as one player said this week, he'd be less than honest to say they're not thinking about running the table. Meanwhile, out west, hey, it's just jam-packed as the California freeways. The LA Xtreme, yes, they're in first place with just a slim edge with 4 games to go. You get us going today. Let's go to the field for the Mad Scramble.
All right, gentlemen, are you ready? Here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to tell you to take your marks. When you're set, I'm going to blow the whistle, and you go down and scramble. You ready to scramble? Take your mark. Orlando has kicked the car and will receive. LA will kick away from the Jumbotron.
So Scott Coleman comes up with it for Orlando, and they will receive. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to the XFL on the National Network. I'm Craig Minervini, as always, with Bob Golick. Great matchup, perhaps the best of the XFL so far this year. Bob, you got the LA Xtreme playing well now in first in the West. And you've got the best story, and everybody around the league outside of Orlando is saying, stop the streak, stop the streak. The 6-0 Orlando Rage.
Well, as much as they're trying to downplay that, Jeff Brom is the guy at quarterback for the Rage that has really kept it going. Why is he doing it? Well, one reason is he's a pretty darn good quarterback. The other reason, he's got 3 good running backs that they use in rotation. There's actually a very, which really makes it...
And that guy's not one of them, by the way.
That's right.
He's not one of the running backs.
Makes it dual-dimensional, so it works out very well. And I'll tell you what, it gives a good balance.
As you look at the LA Xtreme, they've got a couple of weapons, too. And certainly the leader of their team, the fiery guy for the Xtreme, and that is Tommy Maddox, their quarterback.
Right. Tommy Maddox is a guy that is playing so well. He's kind of a field general for these guys. He gets out there. He's not afraid to yell at his own teammates, his coaches, his kickers. But the good thing is that as good as they are when he's been a one-dimensional guy, they seem to find themselves a little bit of a running attack last week.
You know, it took them 6 weeks, but all of a sudden they found a guy in their very own backyard, and Saladin McCullough, who had 2 touchdowns last week on the ground for this team. What a new weapon for LA.
No doubt about it. Anytime you have an offense who knows how to run things and get things going, and you give him a little bit of a running attack, even a little bit, to take some of the pressure off him, man, that can open up an offense even more.
So Orlando will receive on a gorgeous day. It's 68 degrees and beautifully sunny in Southern California. They have not had a sunny home game this year. Both 2 games they've played have been wet. Jose Cortez, one of the better kickers after a sluggish start in the XFL. Brian Shea will be back to run it back, the all-time leading rusher in college football history, number 20. Not tall at 5'8", but he can fly, and he's got a heck of a heart.
Without a doubt, and it's going to be very emotional right from the start of this game, because both these teams feel they've got the best team out there. The Rage, well, being undefeated, you got to give it to them with a little bit of an advantage.
3 yards deep, Shea takes it, he finds a hole and gets up near the 30-yard line. So started off, Eric Johnson made the stop, and we're underway from LA. Again, these are two teams, Bob, that have not seen one another. They train on different sides of the country this year, and a really good test for both of these teams today.
Have to take a look at them today, and we'll see what kind of attack. We talked before coming in that this Rage attack has a passing game with Braun, but also has a very, very strong running game led by Derek Clark.
60 speed on one. Ready?
You've got to figure that this Xtreme defense right off the bat is going to say, let's take away that running game so we can focus on Jeff Braun.
Braun has not thrown an interception since week 3. He's been very solid since, with 4 touchdowns over that span. Throwing over the middle, and right away he's got a receiver, and Derek Clark is running back for a good game.
We feel pretty confident right now after that win over Vegas, but at the same time, we think this will probably be our toughest test because they're at the same level as Vegas, and it's at their place, and they're playing pretty well right now. So this is obviously our biggest game of the year.
And they started off with a passing game, trying to throw off what the Xtreme defense expected.
In motion is Swain. Clark gets the ball. He's got a room on the outside of the 40, flag down as he gets up near the 45-yard line. Flag in the backfield of the Rage.
Well, anytime there's a corner so wide open like that, you got to expand. A running back gets that much yardage. You got to figure somebody on the outside is holding. Lamont Evans, the safety, came up looking around going, man, I could have had that play, but somebody had a hold of me.
So that'll back up the Rage. Derek Clark had a streak of
a run, holding 79. Repeat.
Yeah, a lot of times on the outside, you're going to see to the right side of your screen here, he gets pulled down, kind of rolls up in the back of his legs. Anything but a straight block not only is illegal, somewhat unconscionable. Offensive lineman always trying to cheat.
On Sean Love, who Coach Galen Hall told us he was the strongest, and he used a little of his strength right there to pull back one of the Xtremes. Took 2nd and 14. From passing in the flats, he's got Mario Bailey. And Bailey well covered in the play by Ricky Parker, who's moved up to the cornerback spot, playing well for them.
And there you see Galen Hall, head coach for the Orlando Rage. We talked to him quite extensively. Talked a little bit, kind of laid back, you know, not too excited.
Didn't get you ready to put the uniform on again?
You know, he did not convince me to do it. In fact, he never even asked me to do it. So what does that say for me?
Smart man. Galen Hall, who lived in Orlando since coaching in the World League since 1990, former Gators coach, and he's done very well in NFL Europe. Big 3rd down and 7 here early on for the Rage, trying to get some momentum against the Xtreme on enemy turf. Rom in traffic, he's taken down. Looked like Jamal Duff, and Dave Ritchie came in on him. And they're going to give the guy they call Rich, Dave Ritchie, who's back in the lineup with a big sack for the Xtreme.
Well, he missed about 4 weeks with a knee injury. Comes back, is like, hey, I'm not even used to being hurt. He is back in playing. Really different, kind of not what we expected. 3 wide receiver sets, 4 wide receiver sets starting off for the Rage.
Jay Chandler punting, taken by Damon Gibson, finds a room. He's at the 50, look out! The kicker to beat. And he knocks him out at the 19-yard line. And Bob, I'm a bit surprised Gibson did not cut back left. I think he could have beat the kicker easily for the touchdown.
Possibly could have beat it. Punt 46-yard with a return of 50. A net -4. That was a math minor at Notre Dame. Watch this. I'll tell you what, it's all about finding the lane, knowing the cut, but being able to make those cuts when you see them, that's where the talent lies. And maybe he should have taken that last cut back to the inside. But, you know, You know those kickers. They're often known as some of the best tacklers out there.
Gibson, it was inactive 3 of the first 4 weeks. He leads the team in punt return after finally catching Luganville's eye, and he's a mainstay now. Over the middle, Gibson again at the 15. The 5'9", 184-pound wideout out of Iowa makes the ground.
Well, it's 5'9", that size. You don't want to be sitting in the middle with Patrice Alexander, 6'1", 250.
Throws on one, right?
Getting ready to take a shot at you, but that's exactly what they did. Both teams actually starting with a short dump pass, trying to set things up.
Check corners, three.
The Xtreme, no backs in the backfield.
48.
Maddox has some time, plenty of time. He may take off. Still looking for a receiver. May have cost him a couple of yards rushing by doing that, but he picked up a couple before Corey Gilliard knocked him out a gain of 4.
I'll tell you what, great coverage by the Rage, especially down here in deep. Makes it a little bit easier in coverage when you've got so limited range to let your receivers go downfield. All the receivers went out. There wasn't really anybody up.
Looked like he had a chance, Bob, to run early and pick up some yardage, but he was trying to buy time and bait the quarterback to get the receiver.
It's exactly right. He's trying to bait the quarterback.
Still got a gainer. Saladin McCullough, here he is. The guy who had a tough period growing up nearby in Pasadena, always wanted to play here for the Trojans.
Kick it.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit short of that first down. You'd hear him say they're going to kick the ball. Hey, in a game like this, could come down to just a point here, point there. You might as well be the first one to draw blood.
It's been almost a guarantee with Cortez, who missed 3 of his first 5, but since has hit 10 of his last 11 field goals. He's got the best percentage overall, 75% this year. This one spotted about a 29-yarder chip shot for Jose Cortez. Decides to go with the boot, and he's got it. So Cortez now 8 for 11 with the shoe, 4 for 6 without it. Our score, 3-zip, right back into these messages and a word from your local station.
The Geek Squad is a 24-hour rapid response computer support task force. We fix computer problems for people. We borrow a lot of our fashion sense from the federal government. Some of our favorite customers are rock stars. Rock stars are the world's first telecommuters. Most recently, one of our pop clients, Ice Cube, was just in town. You know, you'd think a rapper would be a big computer geek, but he's a total nerd, actually. He loves Excel. He had a spreadsheet problem, and he called us in, and we stayed for the show. It was great. We even saw Dre and Snoop.
I took the risks and started my own business. Taking risks, that's what you have to do. But here's a way to help your business with no risk at all. Just call for your free trial version of QuickBooks Pro, America's #1 best-selling small business accounting software. That's right, I said free. For no money, not even a shipping charge. You'll get this free trial version of QuickBooks Pro from the makers of Quicken, so you know it's easy to use. Want to write a check? You just start typing, and QuickBooks Pro fills in the rest. It shows you how much money you're owed and who owes it. It even prints invoices with your company logo. And QuickBooks Pro can save you even more time with features like estimating and job costing. And it integrates with Microsoft Word and Excel. Look, we all take risks in business. Now take advantage of an honest, no-risk opportunity. Call for your free QuickBooks Pro trial version now. There's no bill, no hassle, no risk. You can't do better than that.
Now, courtesy of Busch Beer, let's take a look at last night's XFL action.
Play action is still. There's Ricky Brady again. Touchdown outlaw. Vegas back on top.
And the wheels are coming off Birmingham.
Play action to Ben Snell. Rolling. Yoverty wide open. Touchdown. And Vegas is starting to open things up.
This is a $100,000 play. Wally back to throw. The pass. Oh, he got it. Touchdown! Zola Davis! Zola Davis with a $100,000 catch! And New York about to win the first game at home!
Well, Bob, how about those New York, New Jersey Hitmen? They've won 2 in a row.
They have got something going on. That 16-15 win over Memphis. Starting to find, well, we saw what they started to do. Yeah. They started to open their offense up a little bit. They didn't play as conservative, didn't go with the ball control. They started getting the ball downfield. They found out that they had some guys that could actually make some plays.
And fortunately for the Hitmen in a 10-game season, they found enough time to turn it around. And now all of a sudden they're the second-place team at 3-4. in the playoff hunt, very much so. If they finish second, they're in. As Shea takes the Cortez kickoff, he can fly, but he's dragged down at the 23.
Okay, now, Craig, coming into this drive, this is a Rage's second drive, obviously. We told you they were probably going to try and we heard from them that they were probably going to try and establish a run. In their first drive, all pass plays, except for the one run that was called back from the penalty.
1 tray, 14 on 1. Ready?
You had all pass plays, 3 wide receiver sets, a couple of 4 wide receiver sets.
I would think trying to throw them off. They've got the top rushing attack in the league this year, and they come out, what are they doing? They're just passing. In motion is Bailey. They do hand off to Clark, and he's got some room over the 30. Near the first down at the 33.
Boy, Clark, it's not overly quick.
Come on now.
You know, it was just a matter of really being patient. You know, when you think about a running back, you think about somebody just slashing it in, hitting it hard into the hole.
0 tray, 60 smash, Z under on 1. Ready?
Smash making it sound like they're going to take it back up inside again, try and get this first down, but Clark really bides his time.
Yeah. He got the 10, Bob, so it is first.
Oh, he did get the first down, okay.
First and 10 for the Orlando Rage. Brown slips. Now he's thinking about running, has it in a block from Clark, and he takes off for a few yards. You know, he played behind Steve Young in San Francisco, and he said one of the things that he picked up talking with us yesterday was how you can make plays with your feet. That time, just a couple of yards for Jeff Brown.
Well, we all remember Steve Young when he first started, how much running it did. But, you know, Braum isn't going to run that much, but he's very good at picking up yardage that he needs. And also, as we said before, doing something.
0 960 combo on 1. Ready?
Being able to tease that defense, or maybe the corner or the safety will come up out of coverage and open up one of his receivers.
Go!
Coming.
Expecting the blitz, they got it. Quick throw, Braum, incomplete. The coverage by Del McGee, and he was all over Dalio Burks. One of the things Luganville talked about with us, Bob, was the key of stopping guys like Burke and Bailey, who are among the leaders in yards per reception. They make the big plays on everybody.
Nickel was up on it.
Yeah, stayed over here, right?
Was off,
And who blitzed? The guy on the other side blitzed, you got to raise up and hit Swain. You guys got to see that.
You know, the funny thing is, when you talk about the personnel, how good the running attack is, you were just talking about the receivers, you start realizing there's no surprise that they're 6-0.
Wide open is Kevin Swain, and there's a big play inside the 45 down to the 43 of the Xtreme before Lamont Evans knocked him out of bounds.
You know, one of the things that you want your quarterback to be able to do is to throw that out. They ran the receivers upfield, cleared out the underneath zones, and Kevin Swain right there in the flat to make the grab.
Z0, 14 bounce pass on 1. Ready?
Yes.
He was Kentucky's Mr. Louisville. Jeff Brown is a senior back in high school. Baseball player and football player, avoiding the rush. He throws, and nobody was near the right side of the field, but he was out of the pocket as Kennelly put the pressure on Brown.
Pocket! He's in the pocket!
Louisville.
He's not listening to our broadcast.
What you got?
He was out.
There you go.
Okay.
Definitely out because there was no wide receiver even on that side of the field.
Well, giving it a shot. Good college try for the former coach of San Diego State.
You can see the short little, he's going to scramble out to the right. You know what? Might have been a little close. He's got to get out past the tackle.
The Rage have thin guys up front, so he might have been outside that fanny of the right tackle. Derek Clark with a few yards. Kalen Hall thinks he's got the smallest team overall in the XFL.
Really?
That's been a factor.
Really do, and but they're hustling out there. That time, good play. Dave Ritchie once again sliding off his block and tripping up Mark.
Zero 60 war hooks on 1. Ready? Check match.
You know, their center's only 290 and the right tackle's only 305. You know how coach tries to sell you sometimes. Tom's passing again. Fires a strike off the hands of Burke. They were looking for the call, and again it was Ricky Parker and Del McGee on the coverage. Good coverage here, Bob.
Tell you what, whenever there's a problem with covering the pass, you always talk about too much cushion. Here, these guys are not giving up the cushion. McGee right on his guy, right there, not only make the play on the receiver, make the play on the ball also.
Jay Taylor back to punt on the 4th and 10. He rolls one to Damon Gibson. Look out, he's got it at the 10. This time he's forced out of bounds in the play by Jimmy Clements. A return of 7 yards. Our score here in Los Angeles is the LA 3 and Orlando nothing. As we pause for a timeout, we'll take this look at Rage quarterback Jeff Brom, a great example of the U.S. Army's victories in life.
Shante Carver came in and just cleared his clock. He's still down.
Is this or is this not the XFL? And the answer to that is yes. Do I or do I not have a pulse? And yes, I do, so let's go play football.
Amazingly, he'll start tonight after a punishing shot that knocked him out.
You know, a lot of people can play when they're healthy, but can you play when you're banged up and injured? And, you know, that's the real question when it comes to quarterback is going out there playing under fire when maybe you're not feeling the way you want to and still getting the job done.
As we're making our way up the hill, entering the rifle range, I can hear gunshots echoing in the distance. I hear the drill sergeant explaining the safety procedures over the loudspeaker.
Once you have that magazine, lock it into
I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done this before.
Let your bolt go forward.
I'm hearing my heart racing. I'm trying to concentrate on steadying my breathing. We spend a lot of time on marksmanship training.
Left side is ready.
It's all about precision and confidence.
Right side is ready.
If I hit 36 out of 40 targets today, I'll be an expert.
Safe to semi.
That's what I want to do.
Log on. Watch Michelle hit the mark. Only at GoArmy.com.
NASCAR drivers Ken Schrader and Cora Sett have teamed up for Federated Auto Parts.
We depend on a team of trained NASCAR professionals for performance and safety.
And that's not easy. Every car and every track is different. Some of the drivers are different too, that's for sure.
If you're looking for top quality name brand parts and professional service you can trust, look for a Federated Car Care Center near you.
Just look for the Federated Car Care sign of distinction.
The XFL on TNN is brought to you by the United States Army, an army of one. By Buell American Motorcycles. To win one, visit XFL.com. And by Smooth Bush Beer and Easy Drinking Bush Light.
Back in Los Angeles, the Xtreme cheerleaders entertaining the crowd here at the historic Coliseum, home of 2 Olympiads, built back in 1923. Here's Saladin McCullough. He finds a hole to get it up to the 20. Here's a guy, Bob, inactive for 4 of his first 5 games. And he became the first Xtreme player to go over the 100-yard mark last week. 2 touchdowns. They had a rushing touchdown by a running back since week 2.
And I tell you what, like we said,
142 X Joe on one.
So takes the pressure off of Tommy Maddox. And, you know, there's 2 ways of looking at it, though. Is this just a guy who was waiting to explode? Or is it a guy who just had a lucky day? Obviously, the Xtreme hoping for the former.
Well known in these circles down here. Everybody wondered what happened to Saladin. Bombs away, Maddox. Incomplete. Rochelle was looking to find the ball, but he was well covered by Reggie Doster on the play. Incomplete.
Well, they just went with a go on that one, man. He just went down the field. Unfortunately, the arm didn't match the speed of the wide receiver.
Here we go. My bad. Let's go. Deuce top live. 42 sprint on one. Right?
One thing Luganville told us he's very happy with is how accurate Maddox has become, especially in the last few weeks. He's not thrown a pick in over 10 quarters.
48!
In motion is Jermaine Copeland, but the handoff is McCullough again. With just a few yards. Got over the 20, gain of about 4.
I don't know what they expected I don't know what they expected on that play. Roberson was standing wide open. Somebody blew a block on that one. Saw Sean Banks and number 90, James Roberson, wide open, just waiting for the running back to come to you.
But Xtreme are the only team in the XFL with not only the kicker, but also the punter. Everybody else handles kicking and punting. It's worked to the advantage of the Xtreme because Prefontaine here is averaging 44 a punt. So they use 2 players to handle kicking and punting, unlike the others. Skinny Culver is back to the 32, up to the 40. He's got some room at midfield. Skipping tackles and breaking into the Xtreme territory down to the 46, and it was Prefontaine who made the stop after the 22-yard return.
Right! I asked Galen Hall, I said, so why do they call him Skinny? He goes, I guess he's always been skinny. You all right? Thanks for that insight. I figured there was like something like some deeper story or something to it.
He's not 300 pounds, and he's 160.
Holding, 90, defense, 10 yards.
Maybe his family gave it to him, some friends, college thing.
You ever heard of a skinny guy named Fat?
No.
Let's go. You're watching the XFL on TNN, the national network.
Policeman, fireman, the mayor of my town. The dude's hanging off of the paper truck. Mr. Chang, down at the local deli, sells me morning coffee, wishes me good luck. This is for the people in my neighborhood. They help me through the day and make me feel good. This spot's for you. And you, and you, and you. This spot's for you.
Yo, it's the XFL that keeps the shut down. They got you loving the sound. That mean you ride to a home run. To walk the asphalt. To pull in the pain. To make a narrow escape. Truly electrified. Your eyes on the prize. Make sure you don't fall when you're having a ball. Keep it moving in the club with daylight love.
You think football is fun? Yes, no. Not anymore, though, is it? Zero fun, sir. We will be perfect in every aspect of the game.
Remember the Titans.
We are team.
Available to own on video and Disney DVD Tuesday, March 20.
So how are we getting home?
Good question.
Hop on in, guys.
File this under never. When you need a ride, save big bucks and dial 1-800-CALLATT for collect calls.
The weekend warrior. He doesn't play for money. He doesn't play for glory. He plays for the love of the game.
No, we don't. We do it for them.
If it's a legal procedure you want, score with Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Stacker 2 can help burn fat offsides, build a tight end, get your backfield in motion, and give you the energy needed for the sack. Stacker 2, voted this year's most valuable fat burner.
Xtreme linebacker Sean Stuckey, who last week stuck it to the quarterback of the Bolts, Casey Weldon, knocking him out on a clean hit for the remainder of the season. We talked with Sean about it.
It was a blitz call, and we were trying to do something, anything to stop Casey Weldon. You know, he was on fire at that point. So we called the blitz, and I was lined up on a slot receiver, and he didn't see me lined up there. And as soon as the ball came off the line, I went. And normally, when you go on a blitz like that, a quarterback could see you after the first 2 or 3 steps. But he had his back to me, and he was rolling away. And so I was able to come in and get a good hit on him. Really, I wasn't trying to hit him hard. I was trying to knock the ball out. But it was just the position that he was in and the speed that I was coming that hurt him.
Well, Weldon's taken a lot of hits over the course of the year, holding on to that job. One of the tough guys out there. We know Jeff Brom also knowing that he's taken a couple of hits. You know, this Rage offense usually scripting its first 10 plays. Today, 3 runs, only 7 passes.
Swain was in motion, and Brom looked for him all the way there and tried to get him back after the long route. And he could not hook up with him for the gain of about 20, so it's second down.
Vince! Are you getting out?
Swain was flying downfield there, Bob. A little mix-up between him, you think, and the quarterback?
Well, without a doubt, yeah. Communication problems. It's not even a communication. He probably was told and just blew his assignment. Sometimes you get out there, you go in motion, you forget where you're supposed to be.
Rage, the 5th best passing attack. Big hole for Michael Black. He gets up to the 28-yard line, but again, flagged down after the gain of 8.
Anytime you see a play cutting back up inside, you can assume that there's some kind of illegal block going on. Holding or illegal block.
Well, penalties hampering both teams here, especially the Rage early on. Neither team able to really get it going aside for a couple of exciting punt returns. Kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so far today, we're not seeing what we expected out of the Rage. We've had a couple of guys making mistakes. Remember the first series, they went with a run to Derek Clark, called back on a hold. Now holding inside. Sean Love, number 79. 2 holding calls already today. One guy's poise breaking down. He's going to have to, I don't know if they're not used to the field, what it is, but his teammate's going to have to grab him by the nape of the neck, get him to focus.
He's the right guard, an experienced guy. He's been in the NFL for a part of 7 seasons. Ball. He has Kevin Swain. They got about, maybe 10 yards back.
Third down.
We'll bring up a third down play. Orlando so far 1 out of 3 on third down.
And Swain did a nice job. Swain, one of those guys with some good hands. They're going to try and use those short routes to try and pick up
60 scream. Oh my, ready?
Pick up little short bits of yardage a bit at a time. You heard the screen call here. Get the ball out to the running back or the receiver and let him get the yardage himself.
Third and long again. It's Swain in motion. Rom going downtown the other way, looking for the big play. Incomplete. He was looking for Skinny Culver, and he again was well covered. Ricky Parker was all over him.
Well, the one thing, even though we're seeing a lack of poise up inside, one thing we're seeing is good coverage. Not a whole lot of room out there. If receivers are going to make.
You don't go out. You go out on a Roger call. H under.
I was going out. Dan told me to stay in because he told me to go out on the end.
Jay Taylor again to punt. That's a short punt. Grabbed at the 47-yard line by Damon Gibson. He's got room again. Gibson to the 30. Gibson this time gets by the kicker, but again is nudged down after a few more yards. Taylor making his second tackle. A punt of 33, a return of 33. Why even bother when you have those numbers?
Well, there's a flag down at almost about the line of scrimmage where the punt was punted from. It might be on the punting team. Illegal man downfield. Yep.
We'll go 5 from here.
They will decline. They'll move it from the point of the return.
Illegal receiver downfield, number 24 offense. 5 yards from the end of the run. First down, Los Angeles.
Well, I don't know. You can't call it home field advantage, but certainly things are working out to the advantage of the Xtreme with field position.
We run.
Done a great job on these returns.
Well, a guy again who was inactive 3 of the first 4 weeks, Damon Gibson, leads the league, adding to his total. He came in at 15 and a half. Did a 51-yard punt return, and then that one was 34 yards, and they are in good position here at the 14.
Go! 48! 48!
Rom passing is for Shell inside the 5, and he pulls forward. He took Kelly Malvo down to the 2-yard line. Let's go down to the sidelines to one of our favorite guys, Lee Rearman. Lee, take it away.
Damon Gibson, you've touched the ball twice. The field position you're giving your team is spectacular. What'd you eat this morning, buddy?
I ate my Wheaties, and hey, that's my job, to get the team good field position. I'm looking for a big return today. I want a touchdown. 1 on punt return, 1 on kickoff return.
He had a 58-yard touchdown catch last week against the Bolts.
Not too much to ask for.
Go!
He has been a big spark. McCullough's in the backfield. He's got the big H-back Leatherwood in front of him, and Leatherwood's going to throw the block. And McCullough diving. Did he get in? He may have been down just before he got to the goal line. No signal from the referee, and they'll down him inside the one. McCullough wanted that one.
I don't know, it looked like it might have been Cedric Clark or somebody knifing in at the last second to cut him off at the ankles and not allow him that power to drive it in.
You got 20 seconds.
You got to understand what Saladin McCullough is all about, to understand how important this is for him. Always wanted to go to USC, grew up in the area, rough area around, had a tough childhood, spent some time in jail, which he said was miscommunication.
Keep him on him now. Keep him on.
Not convicted and then let go. We'll talk about it more at halftime. And he's finally back with a chance to play in the Coliseum. Maddox on the keeper. No signal. Touchdown. Late signal. Tommy Maddox with his second rushing touchdown of the year. And the Xtreme are off to an extremely good start.
I tell you what, the Xtreme crowd off to an extremely good start. They brought him out today on a nice hot day in Los Angeles. And they are definitely picking up the excitement of this Los Angeles Xtreme football team. We do have a flag down, though. Ref's talking about it.
Whoa, they go in the front.
Don't understand the late call there, Bob. I mean, he threw the ball out. It's pretty clean. Did he break the plane or not in terms of the touchdown? The ref didn't call it for several seconds.
If anything, there's going to be, it's going to have to be something, somebody maybe hitting after the play or something, because that play technically ended very quickly as soon as the ball.
Unsportsmanlike, number 51, defense. The touchdown is good.
The play
Enforcement will be on the kickoff.
The play ended as soon as the ball broke the plane. Like I said, it had to be something extracurricular, and it was James Burgess, number 51. You can't blame a guy trying to do everything he can to keep the ball out, but once it crosses, it crosses.
L.A. 48 above the league average of 44%, near 50% on the conversion. Looking for the extra point. They're going to give it to the local guy, McCullough. Bounces once, twice. Burgess hit him first, and that slowed him down, and he does not get the extra point. So again, the punt return setting up the score. Mark Campbell made the hit to stop the extra point.
You got a timeout, coach.
Luganville's Xtreme up on a 9-zip lead over the undefeated Orlando Range.
Napkins.
The Whopper says, any food left unattended is community property.
So wrong.
In the land of burgers, the flame-broiled Whopper is king.
If you can't stop here, stop here for 25% off the regular price of Midas VSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee, and they're the best we've ever offered. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. And if they wear out, we'll provide you with new ones at no charge for as long as you own your car. So for 25% off VSD brakes, go Midas.
If your legs bent the other way, what would chairs look like? If aliens are of a higher intelligence, why do they abduct the dumbest people? If a cow laughs, does milk come out of its nose? If the mini-mart is open 24 hours, why are there locks on the door? The kick of fruit juice and Starburst will get your brain asking, what if? Starburst, get your juices going.
As we're making our way up the hill, I can hear gunshots echoing in the distance.
Let's go, soldiers. You will not have a whole lot of time.
Fires, once you had that magazine.
I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done this before.
Left side is ready. Right side is ready. The middle is ready.
It's all about precision and confidence.
Log on. Watch Michelle hit the mark. Only at GoArmy.com.
Brought to you by Lugs, the boots and shoes with an attitude, because you never know what you might run into.
Instead of an outside.
Does a dirty dance on the backside of Casey Weldon.
That was the Lugs Hit of the Week, featuring the Lugs Frenzy. Be careful out there.
Back in Los Angeles, great to have you with us today as you look at Sean Stuckey out of Troy State. The linebackers not big on L.A. Now Luganville says they're four good players. Would not call them outstanding. They work well together as a unit. So far, been a great start for the Xtreme, trying to hand the Orlando Range their first loss of the XFL campaign. Shea again, this time 5 yards deep. Out to the 10. He's not getting much beyond the 15. It was Stuckey, in fact, who made the play. You know, Tim Walbert, our director, just all over the the game plan here.
He saw that lugs hit of the week commercial. He wanted to be, he wants to get a free set of shoes. He wants some lug shoes because remember this guy that came off at the start of the season with a torn ligament in his foot, and he's actually been recouping from that during the course of the season.
Let's go.
They caught him in college at running a thing of 4.4. 4.41 in a 40, so he can flat out fly.
Considers himself shy, but actually worked not too long ago as a male exotic dancer in Miami. Gain of a few. Not something you generally associate with a tepid, shy individual.
No, but, you know, and because of, he said he was shy, I figured he was doing, well, you know, we needed the money for the family. That'll be some kind of excuse like that. He goes, oh, it was actually kind of fun.
Over auto.
Something you ever tried yourself, Bob? Being a tough, studly defensive football player?
Just on Halloween.
Right call.
Hopefully not in the birthday suit. Final moments of the first quarter. Orlando's yet to get the offense going at all. Big tackle by Lamont Evans. He took the helmet off Keanu Burks. And do you think the Xtreme have sent a message to the Rage or what here in the first quarter? Wow.
You know, so far this has been all about field position, and this defense is not going to let them get any yardage. Man, it's like I'm reliving my childhood. Love hearing this.
A bone cruncher by Lamont Evans. And who's the undefeated team out here? So far, LA making an impression on the 6-0 Rage.
10 new shows on TNN. Number 1 and a 2.
All right, for 3. That one's my favorite.
4. Oh, yeah, that's a great show.
5. Oh, I love that. 6.
Lucky number 7.
Oops, I forgot one. 8. Oh, I love you guys. 9. Oh, man, is there only one more?
And 10.
1.
And a 2.
3.
4.
5.
6.
7. 8.
9 and
10. TNN gives the people what they want.
10 on TNN.
The DirecTV Freeview event series presents a musical journey to the most mystical places on Earth. Music in high places. This month, from the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, it's country music sensation Leanne Rimes. Music in High Places with Leanne Rimes, playing every weekend in March, free on Channel 103, a DirecTV Freeview event.
Some people will watch anything. But for everyone else, the Total Choice Platinum package from DirecTV gives you the ultimate in entertainment. 32 premium movie channels, over 25 great sports channels, plus over 100 general entertainment channels. When you stop spinning your wheels, order the Total Choice Platinum package from DirecTV and do your hamster a favor. Put his cage in front of the TV.
And now, Burger King presents the XFL Offensive Player of the Week. In the land of burgers, Whopper is king. Memphis Maniacs quarterback Jim Druckenmiller went crazy on the Enforcers defense in a 29-23 win. Druckenmiller threw for an XFL record 413 yards and 3 touchdowns, including the game winner with just 20 seconds left. That was the Burger King XFL Offensive Player of the Week. In the land of burgers, Whopper is king.
The Druck had a big day.
That was last week.
But he lost last night.
Last night got a little ugly.
Lost on the last play by the surging New York, New Jersey Hitmen, who are playing great for Rusty Tillman. We'll see him next week. Oh, Brahmas just collapsed. Crunched. And I believe it was Lamont Evans again. That had been Juan Long who came in there. Long made the stop. Nice play.
Yeah, Juan Long, a guy plays, backs up a little bit at the middle linebacker position, but he's very active. And actually blitzed 2 guys from that slot. Only 1 guy got blocked. It's simple mathematics. You bring 2, you block 1. Somebody comes free.
Juan and my wife have a few things. Well, one thing in common. Shopaholic. Juan says he's a shopaholic. In fact, I think anybody can relate to that.
Right shoulder.
See the
Brum was hurt.
coming off. He was really hit, and
that arm just dangling.
Kind of a reminder of the hit that Weldon took. The shoulders.
The
so vulnerable in those positions for the quarterback. Gallo upon again, a flag is down. Going way back is Damon Gibson again on his own 23. Running out of some room, he still found enough to get up to the 35. Burgess among the tacklers, but the concern right now for Orlando is that man, Jeff Brom, knocked out 2 weeks ago. Let's take a look again at the hit.
Take a look at this shot here when how he gets hit, how he lands on it. See Long coming up from the left there. Comes down right on the shoulder. When you land on the shoulder like that, it jams it up. I'm not a quarterback, but I've actually had that happen. You jam it into the ground, it kind of compresses the joint. It can actually stun and kind of damage the nerves a little bit, and it also grinds that joint around. You can actually make it sublux, kind of pull out of the joint a little bit. Right now, we can see them, their hands up inside there, trying to make sure that it's still in position.
You know, it's almost amazing that more quarterbacks have seen enough of them already, but don't take more injuries when you get these big. I mean, Juan Long is 245.
There's Brian Kuklik. He's the one who'll be stepping in if Jeff Brom cannot go their next series.
A guy that Galen Hall is very confident in, doesn't think he loses anything, as McCullough makes the catch out of the backfield for the game.
Juan Long, a heck of a stick on the quarterback. I think Jeff Brom might be out. Is that just tough defense, or were you looking to rip his head off?
This is the house of pain. I'll bring the pain.
So you were looking to rip his head off?
Most definitely, always, all game long.
And the crowd, which is privy to the broadcast, cheering Juan Long for his big hit on Jeff Brom.
You know, this LA offense so far, only 35 yards. But it's been field position and special team play that has gotten them the 9 points.
48! From the Damon Gibson draw. Here's McCullough on the draw across the 45. Gained a couple of yards.
And there you see Copeland on the sidelines.
You know, in a backup role a couple of weeks back after the injury to Brom first quarter, Copeland went on to throw for 207 yards and a touchdown in that win against the Maniacs.
Yeah, Galen had nothing. We kind of, at the end of the interview with Galen, kind of threw it in there just in case, and really had glowing comments to make about it.
Almost as if there's no difference at all between his starter and his number 2 guy. In motion is Rochelle on the circle motion. From wide open is McDonald, their big play receiver, and he gets inside the 40. Corey Gillard knocked him down. Gain of 13 yards.
Well, he's one of those receivers you like, a 6'3". He's one of the new breed of the tall guys that, and especially the XFL.
Let me ask you, Bob, about everybody's watching the guy in motion. He tends to open up to the other guy, huh?
Oh, without a doubt. They bring him in motion. He has the speed coming off the snap going upfield. Everybody's got to respect that. The guy dragging underneath, he's right there, usually wide open.
48 to be more of a fake most of the time on a man in motion than a weapon they would use to throw to that receiver. There's Damon Dunn, a speedy receiver, and he's thrown down very hard. Reggie Doster looking for a little payback, it appeared, off that Juan Long hit and comment.
Not a pure suplex, but definitely had a little throw. There you see Jeff Brom, man. That gonna have to get him in and get a look at it. You see them fixing the sling, keep that shoulder immobilized.
Well, that picture, that's it for him, at least for now. Gets out the game.
I don't see that can get any better.
2nd and 5. This time Wilcox is in motion, the big H-back. And McCullough's got the ball, and he gets loose at the 25. Saladin McCullough putting his shoulder down. He's only 5'9", 195. He runs like he's 250, and he makes a big gain of 11. And a nice play by Maddox, too, Bob, under pressure with 3 rushes right at him. He dumped it off.
Yeah, really good control. That's one thing we talked about him earlier as being a field general. A lot of poise. He dumped it off there. But I'll tell you what, when McCullough lacks in size, he gains in leverage. You get a guy 5'9" coming in and popping you in the chest. There ain't a whole lot you can do to get down lower than him.
48! 48! Here's McCullough again. Goes through the left tackle, gets near the 16-yard line. Now let's head down to the sidelines. Kip Lewis on the Rage sidelines.
Jeff Brom, you're out with a shoulder separation. What happened on that play?
Just a good hit and separated my shoulder and bad break.
How frustrating is this for you?
Well, you know, you don't want to get hurt. You want to be able to play, and I'm not able to.
Probably going to be it for him. If they got him out of his pads and wrapped up like that, it's going to be a matter of the muscles start to tighten up, everything starts to swell.
Maddox pressured. He was hit hard and really crunched as well. And Maddox's helmet came off after Cedric Clark's connection. And, you know, one hit tends to lead to another. No flag.
He came right up. Clark came right up the middle. They ran a game inside, wide open, and nice pop on the guy. Just gotta take the helmet off. Let him know that you're there.
Bob, you play defense at the highest level, on the Pro Bowl level. What kind of feeling you're a defensive player when you see the other team's defense knock out your quarterback?
Well, I mean, you always, as a defense, want to go out there and make hits. You want to go. It's not a whole lot of retribution, but right off the bat, you want to go and make the damage. You want to do the damage regardless of what the other team's done to you.
Well, Cullen inside the 18, but you think human nature, Bob, might give you that a little extra. You know, they knocked our guy out.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to put that extra smash shot. No,
it's not as much as you see in baseball with pitchers throwing at guys.
Yeah.
But it's you know, there's definitely a pride factor. If the defense is going to come and get your guy and take your guy down, then you got to go and get some retribution. You got to prove that you can make the big hits too.
The Xtreme will go with Cortez, who hit from 29 before. He's hit 11 of his last 12. This one from 31 yards. He's got the shoes on again, and he nails it again, making 12 out of 13 for Jose Cortez, who started out missing 3 of his first 5 this year. Now he's accounted for half of the dozen for the Xtreme.
It's hot.
It's the hot XFL that keeps the shut down. They got you loving the sound. That mean you ride to a home run. You walk the asphalt. To pull in the pain. To make a narrow escape. Truly electrified. Your eyes on the prize. Make sure you don't fall when you're having a ball. Keep it moving in the clubs. The daylight love.
There is an easier way to get an XFL football. Come to Pep Boys and get an official size and weight XFL football free with a Castro motor oil case purchase or oil change. Only at Pep Boys.
Hi, Tom Bodette. When did you see the light?
Oh, going over to Phoenix. We wanted to rest up for the game, and suddenly it was so clear. Motel 6. I think it's great.
Well, you gotta call them like you see them. Call us and see the light for yourself.
Joe had big dreams.
Things going to happen for me. I'm Joe Dirt.
But he had to start at the bottom. Train with the best.
Don't try this at home. Dang.
And reach for the stars.
I can see down your shirt.
On April 11th, he's hitting the big time.
An atom bomb. We'll shoot fireballs at it. We're going to get so busted.
Joe Dirt.
Woo! Someone had a chili dog for lunch.
Rated PG-13. Opens everywhere April 11th.
Napkins.
The Whopper says, any food left unattended is community property.
So raw.
In the land of burgers, the flame-broiled Whopper is king.
The XFL on TNN is brought to you by Lugs, the boots and shoes with an attitude, since you never know what you might run into. Lugs, boots and shoes. By Pep Boys, cars like us, people love us. By Tomcats, a new film from Columbia Pictures, opens everywhere March 30th. And by Burger King. In the land of burgers, Whopper is king.
So Brian Kuklik getting ready to come on for the injured Jeff Brom. This will be his second significant action of the season. All those yards coming in the backup game we mentioned 2 weeks ago. And he led his team to victory, 21-19 over the Axe.
Got himself a strong arm. He can get the ball downfield, and he's got a lot of versatility. Like we were saying, nothing against Jeff Brom, but they feel they're not missing too much when Cooper goes in.
Michael Black has it, a return of 15 yards to the 25, and Copeland's going to have to go 75. And again, we talked about the hitting and intensity, and it continues here with a flag after the play.
68, block below the waist.
Feisty game.
Hey, Dave.
Coach, this is the best team in the XFL. You're spanking pretty good. You must be the best motivator in town.
Well, our guys are playing good right now. This has nothing to do with motivation. We're making plays, and this is a hell of a football team we're playing. This game ain't over. Don't think this one's over.
Well, Luganville, let me hear Coach say, yes, we're up. That's it. It's finished. Second quarter, 12-zip, done.
Yeah, I've never heard a coach say that. Yeah, we're kicking their butt.
Illegal low block on the returning team. That penalty is zone down.
I think it was a zone down.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We didn't pick it up, huh?
On the Carolina?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were picked up. Crafty's guy just set a little soft, and he goes, why are you behind me?
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, you're talking about the 60?
I'm talking about the Carolina you threw out to Frank.
Yeah, we should have been picked up, but I got hit right in the mouth.
Yeah, I know you did. I know you did. It was. Frank had a step on him or so.
Well, it was going to be a completion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they just brought Will Mike, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
So Jerry, I think, took Solly's guy, and Solly didn't.
So you heard conversations between Tommy Maddox and his offense coordinator.
Prior to the snap, illegal contact, 94, defense, 5 yards. The down remains first.
Look at the play selection here for Orlando. And this may address the reason they're having some problems. Usually, they are, predominantly run. Close to 50-50, but predominantly run. Today, they've run very little. They've come out in 3- and 4-man wide receiver sets, trying to give them a different look. Every time they have run the ball, not every time, but they've gotten themselves into penalty situations quite a bit. Holding early on. Sean Love was guilty a couple of times with Derek Clark kicking him some yardage. So they've really changed their game plan, the Rage have, in trying to throw a monkey wrench probably into the Xtreme's defensive game plan. But what they've done is actually thrown a monkey wrench into their own game plan.
No surprise that Galen Hall likes to run it down your throat. But last week they had trouble running against Vegas. It was the first time they did not get 100 yards on the ground. 31 carries, 76 yards. And then they're not really relying on the run much today until this series. From their new quarterback, Copeland, a hand off the clock. No gain there.
You could.
Man, not only did they have good defensive play up front, but I couldn't make out who came off the corner. Late blitz off the right. I think it was number 20, Jeff Russell, came in late. Late blitz and just threw his helmet into the pile, cutting that run short.
Orlando just 1 out of 6 on 3rd down in the ball game. Other head up front. Does he have speed to get outside? No, sir. Jamal Duff ran him down. Death blow. The left in for the Xtreme, getting out there to make the stop, and they're going to have to punt yet again.
They are just playing so good. They're taking some chances. Here they just get great run support on the right side of your screen. Everybody gets up. They force them back. If the running back can't get his shoulders turned downfield, he's not going to pick up yardage.
Even in front of you. Beg your pardon, Bob. That was second, so it is now a 3rd and long. 3rd and 16 for the Orlando Rage. And Copeland may have to pass here for the first time of the game. In relief of the injured Brom, Copeland back to throw over the middle, fires, and it's short of the receiver, Diallo Burks. Copeland was knocked down, and the pressure, a major factor. Ritchie was in his face. The LA front four among the league leaders in sacks, and they're great with pressure, too.
They are just, they're mixing it up. A lot of guys, a lot of good pass rushing up front. Hey, welcome, Mr. Copeland. Thanks for joining us out here. They're getting good pressure up front. They're bringing a slot blitz quite a bit to throw things kind of a monkey wrench in a little bit.
Here's Gibson at the 43, runs out of room. He's pushed out of bounds by Omar Brown. The last play, Dave Ritchie just owned the left tackle, Dan Collins, and that's been a big story. The men up front for the LA Xtreme trying to land the first loss in the Rage today.
Inevitably, there will come a time in your life when you realize you need a cell phone. And when that time comes, we'll be here.
Your car never nags. It never complains about how much time you spend with the guys. It thinks a little gas is a good thing. Here's to the perfect relationship.
One visual, and you have the lead on the right. I got the lead on the right. Lights on. Left 9 now. There we go. You got the airspeed on me. Visual. Oh, there you are. Darn, I was hoping you wouldn't see me. Yeah, it's my turn to gun track. Let's do that one again. Okay?
Just in case you didn't catch the number the first time.
An explosive airstrike.
Touchdown, David!
A deadly ground attack.
Touchdown, Chicago!
The return of a Top Gun.
Oh, look at him go! Look at him go!
The unfurling of a lethal weapon.
John Avery is not quick, he is sudden.
The San Francisco Demons head to historic Soldier Field to battle the Chicago Enforcers. The XFL, Sunday night on UPN.
Hi, my name's Kim, and I'm from Orange County, and I'm a massage therapist. And during the week, my clients come to me feeling really stressed out with knots everywhere. What I love to do is really get in there into the neck and dig my fingers in and get all that stress out. When they leave me, they're feeling really relaxed and stress-free. But what I really love to do is cheer for the best team in the XFL, the Los Angeles Xtreme.
We're not done, are we? And I want to know, I want to know how Lee gets jobs like that. Our own Lee Rarman getting involved. Oh, there he is.
Hey, Lee. Lee, how was that massage, Lee?
Oh, it's great, but it's not done yet. We're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I've seen you act in Orlando, Lee. You're finished.
We've all caught that act.
Well, ditched by almost every head coach in the league. I guess he deserves a little pampering. David Gibson's been the man again for the Xtreme. He's wide open at the 30, all the way down near the 20-yard line. Kelly Malvo took him down, and the fear from Luganville was the Orlando offense, but it turned out to be the other way around today at the Coliseum, gain of 26.
You know what the beauty of this play was? 3 guys set left. Quick throw to the receiver. The other 2 receivers get blocked. They don't go throw those little wimpy receiver blocks. They went out and blocked their man and left him all by himself to pick up the yardage, to beat 1 man and pick up that 26 yards. Great job.
48. Gibson. Big numbers today. He's got it again. And look at his speed as he turns the corner. Gets to the 17. You know, last week, Bob, the Xtreme scored touchdowns on 3 of their first drives against Birmingham. And here today, they've scored on 3 of their first 4 against the alleged best team in the XFL, the Orlando Rage.
And you got to say, too,
Let's go
this is all been about special teams early on, but you're also seeing that they're playing great team. This is probably the most complete game we've seen this LA team play.
This time it's McCullough in the backfield. He's dragged down. Solid defensive play by Sean Banks, who came up from his linebacker position. Flag is on the play.
I got to get him on the blitz, fella.
What happened? I don't know yet.
What happened over here?
Well, those flags came out late and came from the defensive backfield.
You got 12 people. Okay, previous spot will go half the distance, right? Previous spot.
You have 11.
Okay. Turn the play. 12 men on the field. Defense. Half the distance penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Well, that's one way to stop an offense. If you're having trouble stopping a drive, throw an extra guy in there once in a while. Unless, of course, the ref catches you. There you see Sean Banks came up and made that last play. Love to give him all the credit for coming up and make that play. Orlando right now really killing themselves with penalties. 8 so far for a total of 76 yards.
LA just 1 penalty for 5 yards. That's been an offensive weapon. Rochelle's got it. Gain of about 4. Boy, was brought down by Kelly Malvo. Rochelle's been a favorite. You know, what's funny is coming in, you were worried about Copeland defending the big receiver and Darnell McDonald among the top 2, but it's really been Rochelle and Gibson, the weapons for LA.
And it's all been, as they get the first down, it's all been about the quick throw, too. Anytime they've delayed things, whether it's been a run or a pass, you know, they have mixed results. The stuff where you're seeing the quick throws, the quick dumps, and leaving it to the wide receiver to pick up the yardage, they're seeing really good success.
Tommy Maddox calling for timeout. We'll take a break from the LA Coliseum. The Xtreme looking to punch it in again. They lead 12-zip.
Minutes, and we got
Hey, people, settle down, take your seats.
Mr. Winfield?
Mm-hmm.
I left my project at home.
Well, that's too bad. It is 80% of your final grade.
Excuse me, is there a problem here?
No.
Listen, I think our friend deserves an A. An A? An A plus. You got that?
This could happen. Emphasis on could. When you're in a jam, just dial down the center. 1-800-CALL-ATT and save big bucks on every call.
I swear, I know this guy.
Use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls.
If you can't stop here, stop here for 25% off the regular price of Midas VSD brake pads and shoes. They've got a lifetime guarantee, and they're the best we've ever offered. They're quieter, they stop faster, and last longer. And if they wear out, we'll provide you with new ones at no charge for as long as you own your car. So for 25% off VSD brakes, go Midas.
Who could tell me what builds strong bones? Anybody know that one?
Milk, milk. What goes with pie? Milk, milk. What goes with beans?
I'm in. I don't want to hear.
Should have had your man.
Get out.
N, Q.
Q? Close?
What about a K?
No, G.
What about an X?
X. Seriously.
I'll have a root beer.
You'll have a milk. Say it with me. Osteo... G.
Want strong bones? Calcium may help prevent osteoporosis.
Bingo.
As we're making our way up the hill, I can hear gunshots echoing in the distance.
Let's go, soldiers. You will not have a whole lot of time.
Fires, once you had that magazine.
I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done this before.
Left side is ready. Right side is ready. The middle is ready.
It's all about precision and confidence.
Log on. Watch Michelle hit the mark. Only at GoArmy.com.
Nice house on hand at the LA Coliseum, watching their Xtreme trying to punch it again, making Orlando look like a very average team here today.
48!
Copeland's in motion, running to the left. Play action, he'll throw right. Nice play selection, looking for Leatherwood, but it's incomplete. And give Sean Banks some credit, the linebacker, did a pretty good job sticking with Leatherwood, although everything was going the other way with a man in motion in the play action.
Well, the good thing for Sean Banks is that Frank Leatherwood is not one of those little scat backs. 260 pounds. He's somebody he definitely is not mismatched with.
Go! 48!
3 wide receivers set up.
48!
Bunch together.
Blitzing Maddox throws a quick fade pattern. McDonald got a hand on it. Doster on the coverage, but it was the rush and blitz of Orlando that forced Maddox's hand in the play.
Yeah, good coverage. The throw was off a little bit.
Bruin Storm. Bruin Storm. Same thing.
Maddox just saying, Bob, if we had a slant, we would have scored on that play.
48! No doubt about it, they were singled up on that side, away from the bunch of receivers.
Now it's 3rd and goal. Maddox looking left. There's the slant. Touchdown, McDonald! You heard it. Reggie Doster's yelling at the ref. For some reason, he may have felt that McDonald pushed off on him at the line.
Billy, we're rolling it.
He's in his face.
Well, there's any amount of pushing and bumping along the way. It just can't be blatant, and it can't be used to make the catch. Looked like a clean slant to me. Like you said, they made the call. Hey, if we would have slammed, we would have had it. Here's just a quick slant. Wide open. Finally, we hear from McDonald. We're still here. Still waiting to hear from Jermaine Copeland. No catches yet today. Go! Yeah, we have 48.
For the conversion now and a 19-point lead. Maddox in a toss for it. Throwing it, it's knocked down, batted away. Incomplete. So both conversions really the lone highlights for the Rage here in the first half. Their most disappointing half of the season. Every goal line 18 zip.
Tommy Maddox, you guys are off to a great start. How good is it to have two great receivers to throw to in situations like that?
Well, it's great. You got two big targets down there, and they're playing well. We just got to keep it up. There's a long way to go in this game, and defense playing great, winning the game right now, so we just got to keep it up.
Looking like a true winning quarterback.
Oh, look at that artistry right there. Fans of Los Angeles and certainly enjoying the XFL experience in person. And LA with good shape here as you look at the rest of the season, playing 3 today. Their third of their final 4 games, all at home. They took 4 of their first 6 on the road. Impressive 4-2, and if they could come out today, there's still a long way to go. But if they can win this one at 5-2, they get 2 of their final 3 right here.
It's very interesting to see what the mindset of the Rage is right now as they're down by a boatload.
There's Shea finding some room, but he can only bust out to about the 25. Ken Oxendine knocking him down. The story today is the play of Damon Gibson.
He has been all over the place. Starting off today, we saw him as a returner, looking at the B guards and actually putting together the first 9 points of the game by giving them great field position. Later on, though, they give the ball as a receiver, quick dump to him, let him do the work, let him make the moves, and let him make the defense miss. He has been all over the place. He's been the key to this Xtreme offense today.
Good game last week. The thought was, can he continue it? Inactive 3 of the first 4. Yes, he can.
Well,
150 combined yards today.
As a defense, when you're faced with good receivers, for instance, coming in, we knew.
One Trey, 960, 212 YMAC on one. Hey.
We knew that there are good receivers like Jermaine Copeland, like Darnell McDonald, guys like that. When you expect to play against them, the other guys sometimes get overlooked.
And now, you wonder if Orlando's going to start to open it up. Bailey in motion. Bailey gets the toss, skips by a tackler, dives to the 20. Good recovery by Ron Carpenter, the free safety, making his first start of the year for Al Luganville.
That was a sweet move by him. Getting up, it's like those drills they used to have us do in summer. It was like 110 degrees, up, down, all those up, downs we had to do all the time.
960.
That's why, huh?
He makes it, that's why. You never stay on the ground in football. You hit the ground, you get back up, you got a second shot at it.
And he brought down a slippery guy in the speedy Mario Bailey. Kuklek trying to find some mo. He overthrew Skinny Culver. Skinny was a little larger. He might have been able to pull that one in.
When I was playing ball, remember in particular, missed. I'll tell you about it later.
All right. Promise? Back in a moment.
In 5 billion years, Earth has never seen anything like it. The Honda Rubicon. 500 cc's of extraordinary power and the most advanced automatic ATV transmission to ever run the planet, the Honda-matic. When you're the best on Earth, Earth is your only competition.
In competition, injuries happen. It's part of the game. And to get back your level of performance takes a lot of hard work, discipline, and the best health care. Health South is the nation's leading provider of outpatient diagnostic, surgery, and rehabilitation services. So we can help you get back fast to the action, the competition, and the glory. We know your body. We understand your spirit. We get you back.
You want to play real football? My kind of football? Raw survival in the mud and snow. No domes, no fair catches, no phony grass. It's harsh, it's bruising, so it's beautiful. Think you're tough enough to play my kind of football? Then come and get it.
Introducing the official game ball of the XFL from Spalding. The toughest football ever.
Come on, Johnny. Oh, Johnny's mom is calling up.
Honey, did you get paper plates? You got ice, right?
Short trips really beat up your engine, but Pennzoil with Pure Base is formulated to protect against the harshness of everyday driving. We can't change the way you have to drive, but we can protect you from it.
What kind of steak did you get?
Stop and go. Protection from Pennzoil.
Buy 5 quarts of Pennzoil on a Purelator Premium Oil Filter at Pep Boys and get $3 back by mail.
At the 2-minute warning, this was billed by yours truly as the best matchup of the year. Two first-place teams, but so far it's been all LA and blue at home. The blitz on Copeland. He fires it wide open, Culver, trying to find some room, but the receivers are having trouble getting around the cornerbacks, and Reggie Jordan knocked him out of bounds after a gain of 9.
Coach Galen Hall, you lose your starting quarterback. Your quarterbacks are taking a punishment. What do you do to get your offense going?
Well, we just got to go out and throw the ball quick. They're playing extremely well on us defensively. Offensively, they're playing well. We got hold of a hot team today. We just got to fight through this, come back second half, and hopefully come back and make game of it.
Orlando's used to being down. They've been down in 4 of their 6 victories, 3 of them featuring fourth-quarter comebacks. But never down by this many to this good of a team. Skinny Culver at the 35. Took extra effort to get beyond the 40. Sonny Parker, Ricky brought him down.
The one thing that's just amazing me about these guys, on both sides of the ball, wide receivers not afraid to stick their head in there. Not afraid to make a block.
Second and short. Hurry up offense for the Rage. Pass complete to Culver, just a short gain here. Rage, you have 3 timeouts remaining.
Well, with as much pressure that's coming from this LA defense, both in the front and with blitzes, they're hoping that one of these quick passes will break. If you end up in one-on-one coverages, they're hoping somebody will beat it and they can break it for a long one.
Firing. Look out! Picked off! Come on, Evans with a big hit earlier. He's at the 40, the 30. Is anybody going to get him? He keeps going and he brings it down to the 8-yard line. Vermont Evans from his safety role. 26-year-old out of Columbia, South Carolina, with yet another big defensive play.
That couldn't have been played any better by a safety. If you want to know what a safety does, besides coming up and knocking the tar out of running backs and run games, takes him over, just steps in front of the receiver. The corners in primary coverage. That safety's there to give him a little backup. Perfect timing is stepping up in front of that pass. Caught that ball in stride. You know, and I'll tell you what, if he was just a hair quicker, he would have had that touchdown.
Blame the quarterback too, or just great defensive play?
The quarterback's got to see that guy making a move.
Yeah. Wow, first and goal from the 8. Look out, another slam! Touchdown, LA! This time again, it's Darnell McDonald from the other side, an 8-yard scoring play, and the Xtreme are piling it on here at the Coliseum. Wow.
Well, if this is a look at the 2 best teams out there, then somebody's got Big Mo going. The other team has become very ordinary.
Quick strike, one play after the INT. Wow.
Once again, left side of your screen, as they have all day. Quick slant. Matter of fact, just like the last touchdown they had. Last time it was a quick slant to the left side of McDonald, this time to the right.
Maddox with 2 passing touchdowns, 1 running touchdown. LA 0 for 2 in the conversion today. Copeland in motion. Copeland, the intended receiver, he's got it! And they got the extra point. And Jermaine Copeland.
We ain't gonna get it to the touchdown. They don't get it to the touchdown.
25-0. Now Louisville watching the interception.
Touchdown! If he wasn't wired down, he probably ran down there with him. There it is. There's a touchdown again. Beautifully executed, McDonald.
I mean, how do you cover that play? It's almost impossible.
Keep your focus now. The defenders were right on the ball. As Galen Hall said, they've come up against a team that is really hot.
They caught a hot team. That is almost impossible. That kind of quick execution, unless you jam them at the line.
There is no way to figure out the difference. What is going to be the difference between a team that makes that catch and the team that doesn't make that catch? Because that defender is so close and playing it so well. Sometimes they catch it, sometimes they don't. Today's the day that the Xtreme is just making all the catches.
You saw the smirk from Al Luganville is doing his best to keep it in here with half the game to go. And he could not have imagined this kind of start. When I was talking with him yesterday in his office, he just talked so much about the respect for the Orlando Rage and what they've done. And so far, it's been a dominating performance by the Xtreme. Say again. Oh, it's hard, but bounces off of it, and then taken down by Tinker Keck, who made the stop after the return of 26 yards.
What a run back by Brian Shea. He took that about 4 yards deep in the back of the end zone. Ouch. Well, here's a
0-60 smash. The pressure of coming in undefeated weighs on your shoulder?
Big time, because everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to know about it. And when some team comes at you, and it feels like maybe they're going to break it. Maybe they're going to break the streak. It's almost like a feeling of relief. This may be the best thing to happen for the Orlando Rage.
LA calling the timeout. They had too many men on the field, so they called the timeout. UPN action as the XFL continues on your Sports Sunday tonight. On UPN, it's San Francisco Demons at the Chicago Enforcers. The Demons now 3-3. The Enforcers have really been a hard luck team. Much better than a record led by one of the most exciting players in the XFL in John Avery, Chris Marlowe, Ryan Bosworth, and the crew from Soldier Field.
You know, the interesting thing this year, Craig, has been the teams that have developed their quarterbacks early, who've really started to shine early, are the teams that you're seeing at the top of the division. The guys like Chicago, Tim Lester, developing a little slower, getting better, but everything's on John Avery's shoulders in Chicago, and that makes it tough for him.
And McDougal taking over also at Chicago.
Roger.
Orlando's going to try to, they can't get anywhere. Ruplik is stopped in the backfield.
What? Romando Stallings
what it is.
Romando out. Right up the middle. Third sack today by the Los Angeles Xtreme. Stallings coming off the outside. Pegues coming off the defensive tackle position. He's got nowhere to go. Watch it. Right up the middle. Beautifully executed.
So Romando Stallings making the big play. You wonder at this point, if they're on 13, should they just kill the half?
Go!
No? 18 seconds to go.
They could go for him.
Just end it.
By handing the ball off there, I think they signal that that's about what they're going to do.
At Kennewick. That could be, folks, the best half of football by any team in the XFL this season. The LA Xtreme, who did it with all facets, with special teams, with offense, with defense. 25 points against the undefeated Rays.
Darnell McDonald, Jermaine Copeland. I tell you what, Darnell, did the offensive game plan favor you today, or are you just out there doing your business?
Oh, no. It never favors any of the receivers. It's just the quarterback drops back and looks for the open player, and he throws the ball, and hopefully we can make plays. And today I made two.
Now, Jermaine, we're going to see you in the second half. He's stealing your touchdowns and your end zone dance.
Oh, no, the X-Spot's still waiting to come out. Second half, please believe it.
The X-Spot is Copeland's reaction in the locker room after touchdowns.
Brian Kuklik, you guys are getting killed out there at the quarterback position. You already lost Jeff Brown. What's going on with the offense today?
I don't know. We need to just settle down and do what we do. We'll be fine.
Are you surprised right now? You guys a little shell-shocked?
Yeah, they're playing tough, and, you know, we got out of a rhythm, and we need to get back in it in the second half.
Well, they've been knocked out of their rhythm. A shocking first half of the Coliseum in front of a nice throng for the homestanding Xtreme. They lead it 25 to zip at the half.
Man, the Next Generation, I love the Next Generation Star Trek. It's so much better than the original. The original captain, I mean, Kirk, come on, saying stuff like, Spock, what's going on, Spock? But, yeah, Patrick Stewart, when I first saw him, I went, man, it's an old bald guy on the bridge of the Enterprise. That wouldn't be right. But it actually turned out really, really great.
CNN, we've got Pop.
Let's face it, ladies. Not all of us are satisfied with our small bust size. But we're not left with many options. But now there's Blissance, the all-natural herbal breast enhancement tablet that will increase your bust line by 1/2 to 2 cup sizes in just weeks. And most importantly, it's proven safe. And you'll be amazed at the results. And your confidence level will reach new heights. Blissant's professionally formulated breast enhancer stimulates and regenerates the growth process in an all-natural and clinically proven safe method. Blissant will increase your bust line up to 2 cup sizes. It's all natural, it's safe, and it's guaranteed. If you're not completely happy with the Blissant results, if you don't have firmer, larger breasts in just 2 months, just return the unused portion for a full product refund. Why wait? With one phone call, you'll be on your way to the new you.
Call 1-800-730-9969 for Blissant right now.
About 15 minutes on the 110 freeway as you look live at the Xtreme locker room. 15 minutes from the Coliseum from Pasadena. That's where Xtreme running back Saladin McCullough you're looking at right now, where he grew up and became one of the state's greatest high school running backs. He was considered a lock to follow in the clean marks of the great names like Garrett, Simpson, Davis, White, and Allen, but a career at USC playing in the building right here did not work out. His journey to the Coliseum certainly had a few detours.
When people say my name, I know they probably think as a bad person, it's cancer to the team. But when they hear Saladin McCullough, I want them to think an excellent football player, and he always leaves it all out on the field. You know, I received letters from all over the country, but the first letter I ever received was when I was in the 10th grade playing varsity. It was a USC letter, and that's what I was waiting for. My dream was to be the next Heisman Trophy candidate at USC. I felt if I went there, I probably could have run it at least 2, maybe 3 times, I feel. When you do bad things, you get a lot of press. I went to jail and they let me out, no charges or nothing. It was a big misunderstanding. It wasn't no write-up that said that. It was already a write-up that said McCullough was caught in a stolen car. They didn't know that, oh, it was a misunderstanding. It wasn't no stolen car. This was my buddy, got the car from his girlfriend, and it was her dad.
McCullough sprints to the right. McCullough cuts down.
You know what, the gut nice, it all show up. We're not sure who that is. Actually don't want to know.
Maybe the next candidate, perhaps?
But, you know, it really ends itself, too. If you look at the total amount of yards that the Xtreme have, what is it, 134? Is that what the total? And 25 points. I mean, everything doesn't jive up. This is something where you can look at those stats the next morning and say, man, they must have been in great field position. And, yes, their special teams must have done something like they certainly have today.
Damon Gibson, he'll show up in your morning paper tomorrow. He's had a huge game, brings it back to the 23 to add insult to injury for the Rage. The LA starts off with the ball here and a chance to add to more scoring.
And some more big hits. So far today, we've seen them all, baby. I spent a lot of time down in the trenches, down in those situations, hearing that all the time. But I'm telling you what, there were some lucky people watching this game being able to hear what it's like down there.
And not have to feel it. Jermaine Copeland for a couple of yards for L.A. That's his first grab other than the conversion. Orlando's biggest deficit of the year. L.A. allowing only 18 second-half points. In fact, last week they allowed 23 in the first half and just a field goal in the second half. They've been very good, especially of late.
Well, we got a problem. We got a flag down, which is going to be holding right off the bat against that LA Xtreme.
Repeat, first down.
As we talked about the positives for the Xtreme in the first half, one of the negatives for the Orlando Rage in the first half had to be its penalties. 9 penalties, 88 yards, and it really has put them in bad situations. And that coupled with the field position the special teams gave the Xtreme, they have just not been in a position to do anything good.
LA Xtreme started the year with a tough loss at San Francisco, then won a couple, had to win in overtime against Chicago very easily, could have been 0-2. Everything started with that big win at Las Vegas. They've won 3 of their last 4, as Gibson has it again at the 20-yard line. A gain of 5.
Ricky Bell coming up very quickly, making the hit, as the receiver didn't even put his feet on the ground. They're going to have to play more aggressively defensively. They're going to have to play for turnovers. You're going to start seeing this Rage defense playing for turnovers, making a pick, forcing a ball, putting a ball to the ground.
Galen sweating a little bit in the California sun. This team has taken the ball away 11 times this year. About the middle of the pack. That's not great numbers. He'd like to see that increase as McCullough gets it. And Saladin over the 25 to the 27. We just got a nice look at Saladin. Now he has battled back. His brother, Sultan, is the starting tailback at USC, something Saladin wanted. But, you know, sometimes things do come around a bit. It seems to be happening that for Mr. McCullough now.
Without a doubt today, he's getting some yardage, but he's working it out. He's getting the first downs. He's helped out in that situation a couple of times. Certainly a little bit less than last week's performance, but he'll still be a factor.
Throw wide open to McDonald. They keep going and going, and the big play, they connect again. Darnell McDonald.
Wide open backfield. They knew it was a pass. He got him a step or two on Stephen Fisher. The ball thrown nicely, and McDonald knows where to turn, knows how to get the extra yardage. As Fisher tries to recover on that one.
A gain of 18 for Darnell McDonald, who also has 2 touchdowns with those numbers you see. Orlando Rage averaging 26 points a game this year. #1 in the XFL, shutout so far here at the Coliseum, and again, flags are down.
Well, you know, some people are going to look at it and say, well, they lost Braun. But
5 yards.
You know, Braun was there in the beginning. They did nothing with Braun.
They've been coughing and stuttering and stumbling all game long.
We've actually, I've actually been sitting there trying to find an excuse for them. You know, is it the warm weather? Not from Orlando. There's no excuse. They're just having one of those bad days that they're going to have to fight their butts off to get themselves out of.
48, blitz coming from Burgess, and Leatherwood's got at the H-back, and he's taken down by Cedric Clark. LA's been able to avoid the plays against them, turning the ball over, those kind of things. Even under pressure, they're not giving the ball away.
And you want to know what they're doing well? They're working in levels, too, in the passing game. They're throwing those short ones, forcing the linebackers and the safeties to come up and react quickly to come make the play. Then after they hit a couple of those, they move down 10 yards, 10, 12 yards. They run a slant. They do something, a crossing pattern, something to force these guys to have to react back again. They're really mixing the passes up.
And unlike L.A., Bob, Orlando not known for their good pressure up front as they stop McCullough after a very short game. Ricky Bell got him, gain of a couple of yards on the play.
Well, I'll tell you, as a player from the side of the Rage.
Damn, it was one man.
I've been in games like that where I've just sat there going, this isn't supposed to be happening. And it's confusing. And I'll tell you what, finger pointing starts happening, and you want to be able to find out what it is, so you start blaming everybody. You start looking around going, who the hell is it? It's up to the coach to try and keep it focused and say, hey, keep this team together.
48! Maddox That was incomplete. He was looking for Gibson on the slant. And even up 25-zip, you hear Maddox, you hear the grunts as if it's a scoreless game.
Exactly. Well, these guys are going to give that. They're going to play. The teams that play soft when they're ahead, those are the teams that are going to lose more often than not, even with a 25-point lead. And I'll tell you what, if I had a coach that did that, it's ugly when they just kind of sit on the lead. No way the LA is going to do that.
Jose Cortez, the punt. Skinny Culver's all the way back at his own 8. Of course, as you know by now, you have to return the punts. Can't let him go, even if you are near the goal line. Although that time at the 1, he could have let it go 1 yard deep. He stopped at the 3, and that is how it's gone for the Orlando Rage. Eric Johnson made the stop on a play that, yes, if you look at it from our seat, easy to say let it go in the end zone. It's a touchback, but when you're right around the 1 or goal line, you can't let it go if it takes a bad bounce.
And you know, you talked too about the fact before that the Xtreme believes in how important the special teams are and that they have a separate kicker and punter. There you're talking about a 54-yard kick that drove them back into the end zone. You're not going to see that. A lot of these teams, you're just hoping for the best. You're hoping for mid-30s out of your kicker/punter.
Fontaine averaging 44 a punt coming in. Again, in case you're just joining us, Brom knocked out with a shoulder separation early. Copeland fires to Bailey. He got it near the 10-yard line.
I'm with Jonathan Ogden of the Super Bowl champion Baltimore Ravens. This is your first XFL game. What's your impression so far?
Oh, man, it's great. You know, it's a lot of guys out here playing hard, going out doing their thing, and it's great for the guys, great for the city of L.A., great for everybody.
Are you looking forward to putting that ring on your finger?
No doubt about it, man. As soon as I get it, as I'm showing it to everybody. Everybody's been asking that.
I think Vince McMahon wants to know how much he has to pay you to get you in this league.
Vince has enough money. I don't think he's willing to shell it out.
Burks gets up to the 25-yard line. Right now, the Rage are saying, hey, let's go for that $100,000 bonus and try and battle back into this game. You know, Jeff Russell knocked him out.
Jonathan Ogden brings up a point in that you see one of the things that is slow to develop sometimes is your offensive line. They have to develop a chemistry. They have to be able to know what their blocking schemes are, what the calls are, and be able to trust each other. With a smaller roster, you start to get injuries, you bring in other people in, it's tough to maintain any kind of chemistry in an offensive line, which puts those quarterbacks in jeopardy.
Clark's got it up near the 28-yard line. Talking about the dollars that the players make, the average weekly checks in the league, with the highest has gone, of course, to the Orlando Rage, who have cashed the $100,000 bonus 6 times for an extra $600 grand. Not a bad average weekly paycheck for the Rage. The Enforcers with just 1 victory, down around $4,400. Bob, it's been well known about throughout the nation. I just wanted to ask you about this too. Is the national coverage has been pretty weak for the XFL, not really disrespectful to the players. But when we've talked to the NFL guys, and a lot of them have come out, you can see the respect that they have for the athletes on the field. The guys who are at the top of their profession really appreciate these guys who are knocking on the door.
And you know what? It's amazing. It's to a man from day one. Remember the first game of the season? Tony Siragusa was there.
Snap. Ball start. 81 offense. The Super Bowl. 5 yards. And the down remains second.
The media sometimes becomes. Some of these guys forget that it's about reporting the news, not making the news, or deciding what they should talk about. They should report whatever sport's out there and just give it its due.
They're going cover 2 now.
NFL guys, they see this as football players. They can see the hitting, they can hear the hitting, and they know that these guys are just like them. In another life, they're just like them, going out there playing something they love to play.
Many of them were them until victims of the salary cap as well.
Although I was going to say, if you take all those weekly salary averages from all those teams and add them together, I think you might get Jonathan Ogden's salary. I'm not sure.
Y'all ready to ride?
You got a tight end, coach? Okay, all right. You're right. My fault.
Al Luganville
admitting it's his fault. You don't hear that often. I never did.
He's been a winner at every level he's been at. Coach of the year, junior college in '77. He was the WAC Coach of the Year at San Diego State. NFL Europe Coach of the Year in '95.
Go!
Over the middle, and Mario Bailey is hammered by Ricky Parker in a late flag. And I mean way late. maybe as late as the hit from the referee in the backfield of the LA Extreme.
I think it was Jeff Russell.
Yeah, I thought it was Parker, but
it might have been. Might have been. I think it's Ricky Parker.
Come on!
The flag here is that the defender Parker.
He's standing right there. You're standing right there.
The defender didn't even play the ball. The defender Parker could have made a play for the ball, could have even maybe intercepted the ball, but his intent was only to hit the receiver. Watch this again. Oh, no intent to make the play for the ball, and any referee is going to say, hey, I'll let you do a number of things if you're trying to get the football. If you're just out there headhunting, I'm going to throw something.
We talked about the competitive spirit. It comes from the coaches, too, no matter what the score is. What score? Kenny Culver trying to break loose. The ball is ripped free. Parker, maybe the Lucasville argument might work there, as there's a flag on the play. Looks like he's going to call him down.
Referee still calling down, giving it to Orlando.
On my side in the back, move.
2, illegal shift. Okay.
Flag anyhow. On the backfield, the illegal shift against the Orlando Rage. So it just gets worse for the Rage.
Exactly. We've talked about the penalties in the first half. We talked about Brom getting hit. Here's the play that he was taken out. The hit one long, came up in a blitz on the inside. Nowhere really for Jeff Brom to go. He took the hit, and the damage came when he landed on the shoulder.
Speed on one, right?
So Brom knocked out early in the first half.
And we saw him pretty quickly, too. He was in they had him in the sling. There's no way they're going to try and get him back in.
We say knocked out, meaning knocked out of the game. Unlike 2 weeks ago when he was literally knocked out by Shante Carver for a while. Bailey's got it. Nice gain by Kuklik up to about the 42. And the Orlando Rage, if nothing else, and Bob, as you know, this could be a preview of the big game at the end if things fall out down the way like many think they will. So they're trying to make some kind of impression as well, whether they win this game or not against the Extreme. And certainly if you look at the clock, there's enough time to come back as well.
I'll tell you what, too, if this comes down to these two teams at the end, one team is going to be looking at the film and the other one's going to burn it and say, we're not going to do that game plan at all.
Kuklik.
Good blitz.
The screen off the blitz. Derek Clark's got a lot of room. 20, 15, Clark down to the 5 to the 4-yard line. Nice play by Kuklik, as finally with the pressure, he sort of pulled a Tommy Maddox there. He found his outlet in the running back for a big gain of 38.
Sure did, and I'll tell you what, there was some great blocking also downfield. That blitz came up the middle to take him out. But these guys, he got the motion going, got going downfield. I think it was Delio Burks downfield blocking on him. Look at that there. He was locked up, and I'm telling you, I can't be any more impressed with the blocking of the wide receivers on both sides of the ball. They locked up just like any other offensive guy. No prima donnas in that wide receiving corps.
Second time inside the 50, deepest penetration by far for the Rage of the game. Michael Black, I don't think so. Dave Ritchie is having a huge game, monster game, stepped up and made the play. The 27-year-old out of Washington, where he was a star for the Huskies.
You know, he is excited. We told you he's coming off an injury, a knee injury, a medial collateral ligament, 4 weeks out, just coming back, never been hurt before, and he told me, he goes, I don't know how to deal with it. He goes, I was jogging and I felt okay, so I figured, well, why can't I run? So I started running, and I go, ooh, that's why.
Talked about guys who've been there. Ritchie, a two-time Super Bowl winner with 5 tackles so far today.
All right.
Coming in, they're up by 25 over the undefeated Orlando Rage, who are trying to knock one in here and chip back and get back. Still in the third quarter, time remaining for the Rage.
Actually, only their second time inside of the Extreme side of the field.
Fade pattern. Oh, it's intercepted, I believe. Intercepted by Dale McGee. He ripped it away from Burks. Flag down in the return as McGee gets up to the 42. He's punched out of bounds. Look out. Right on the sidelines in front of the Rage bench. There could have been another flag thrown for that. Burks making an inside move, but Del McGee wanted it more. A1. Childhood friend gave him the name because the best sauce on a steak, he says, is A1, and he was the best in high school at all the sports. He played 3 of them.
Well, look at this. Steals possession. There it is. Steals it away. McGee taking it back. Good return. Block down there. Really good position. Just gotten there. That's what we talked about, playing the ball and not the man. He had position on the receiver, and he just, all he had to do is slow up a little bit so that ball would come right to him.
Burks was trying to get around McGee, but he couldn't do it. There was a clip to bring it back to the 10, but again, the Extreme D comes up with a big play. Now Loganville spent his last 6 years.
Drop. He's got NFL Europe. You know, Craig, when you talk to him sometimes, he seems kind of laid back, but the more you talk to him and you get into like important subjects, yeah, the intensity, you can just feel it.
McCullough for a couple of yards. He just, well, he said, in fact, he's been a coach for a long time. 16th season as a head coach. He's coached at virtually every level you can imagine. Never had a better experience, no matter what happens, how long his tenure is, said he never had a better experience coaching than this year with the LA Extreme. That was off camera.
This is a team that has, you get them 3 scores and
because, you know, it goes around with everybody, and I think the coaches are feeling the same thing that the players are feeling. That the best man's playing, that the guys are getting their shot. There isn't, you know, they're not dealing with the egos, they're not dealing with the...
Maddox looked away and gets Copeland.
Look at this.
He looked at McCullough and found Copeland, and the Extreme keep on going up to the 48. Big gainer for Copeland.
Let me go! Well, Copeland told us at halftime that we'd see his dance.
Only if he scored a touchdown, I believe.
I know. Check it out. And it throws everybody else. Copeland's turn. Jermaine Copeland. And here's the why they recovered him so heavily in the first half. And other receivers were getting the benefit. The other guys like David Gibson making the catches, because once he catches, his yard after the catch is very, very high.
McCullough for a couple as Copeland set up the series here for LA. The star out of Tennessee. McCullough not having the monster day that he would have liked, but contributing. And most importantly, his team's winning.
That's right. And you know what? And you know what that Copeland catch did? Once again, they put LA in a position right there, a good field position. And Orlando, even if the ball's got to go back to Orlando will be in a horrible field.
Up by 25, they go 5 wide and throw incomplete. How about that?
How do you have 5 wide receivers and miss one?
Maddox tried.
You should be able to close your eyes and throw it. Hit one of them.
Don't cry. The keeper
Wake up!
not finding the other jersey.
That's right.
Like Orlando has today.
My bad. Let's go empty. 50, Georgia, Ohio. I want Red Club Jet 2. Right.
The view for Tommy Maddox, not only of the defense, going to make sure to not get caught up in one of the great sights in all of football, the backdrop of the LA Coliseum built in 1923. Maddox finding room, fires it, got his man again. Another first down, Jermaine Copeland, all the way down inside the 40. And yes, it's a first down for the energetic 6'1", 200-pounder out of Harriman, Tennessee.
Well, the Orlando Rage made their adjustments at halftime. They said, listen, the first half, David Gibson killed us. Latario Rochelle killed us.
45.
These guys, we can't let them kill them anymore. We're going to go cover them. Well, now, these guys are wide open. Oh, yeah, look at that. Open receiver underneath. But they're looking to get downfield, score more points.
48.
Like Coach Luganville said, get more points on the board.
McCullough trying to ground it out on the ground. Gets a gain of 4 to the 37.
Coach, you got a big lead. The XFL seems to be a wasteland for quarterbacks. Why leave Tommy Maddox in there right now?
Well, it's still a football game. I mean, we'll make that change when we feel that it's ready to do it. Tommy Maddox is playing well right now. This game's not over yet.
Well, Jeff Brom's on a gurney right now. Don't you think you might want to give his guy a little bit of a rest?
Well, we'll see.
Maddox having, and he's had perhaps the best year of all the quarterbacks. He is a tighty, 18 out of 24 for nearly 200 yards. yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions again for the 3rd straight game. Here's McCullough off the draw. Down to the 26, he hangs on to the ball. Clock keeps ticking now. 40 seconds left, 3rd quarter.
You know, it's good to know that our Lee Rehrman really cares. He cares about those quarterbacks.
Let's go empty. 50, Pennsylvania, Chicago change. I'm wondering.
Maddox beat out the top selection of all in the XFL inaugural draft, Scott Milanovich, the backup. He was the #1 pick. Dips into a couple. Corey Gilliard came up from his spot at strong safety as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. And the talking continues. Scott Milanovich hoping for his first shot of the season. It likely will come
on the kickoff
in the 4th quarter.
He hit him pretty good.
LA Xtreme. That says it all here at the Coliseum. First quarter, a touchdown by Maddox, a field goal by Cortez. Broken open 2nd quarter, a field goal by Cortez, and then 2 passes by Maddox, both to McDonald. One set up by an interception late in the 2nd quarter. 25-zip, shutting out the undefeated Rage, who were the top scoring team coming in.
Yeah.
Go! Once again, the Xtreme going with, brought him to the dance. 4 wide.
And they're blitzing Maddox, who picks the wide receiver. Oh, a great catch by Darnell McDonald. But a flag is down on the man-to-man coverage. Maddox, so smart. Well, he found the coverage.
Exactly. And this is what they did. To his left, the bottom of the screen, they grouped 3 wide receivers in a bunch.
Pass interference defense, 35. First down.
3 wide receivers, leaving McDonald one-on-one on top. Stephen Fisher one-on-one with McDonald. When you're at one-on-one, a couple things can happen. 1, you can make the catch. 2, you get the interference, which is just about good enough. That's close.
A little iffy.
Both going up for the ball.
It's not iffy. Yeah.
12 penalty for the Rays right now. This is just, and that one, like we said, a little bit iffy, but still, when it rains, it pours.
That will make the coaching staff maybe use the bags on the airplane flight home. That's really a horrible stat for their team. McCullough, yes! McCullough is back home, and he's in the end zone he dreamed about for his entire life. Wanted to go to USC, didn't work out. Was injured while at Oregon when they played their lone game here at the Coliseum. And finally,
it wasn't big, it wasn't fancy, but it was power, it was leverage. He knew where the end zone was. I'll tell you what, you talk about a guy, you hear the term, got a nose for the end zone. He saw it there, man. He was just dragging people.
Let's go deuce tough wide, rocket Florida
3
special.
long yards that took a lifetime to get for Saladin McCullough. Touchdown for the Xtreme. Go! You'd think this would be the last series for Maddox of the day, but you never know. Luganville probably thinks it's even a tighter game now. A 31-zip. Copeland in motion, some fancy moves. No. Deflected.
Well, that was a 10-play, 79-yard drive.
Cover. I want to make sure you're healthy, okay? Don't look at me like that. All right? You're hurt a little bit.
My name is Jeff from...
Elementary school teacher in Anaheim, California, working on her master's degree as well. And talk about something extreme. I mean, you never would have thought this. 31-zip. LA?
Unbelievable. Not so much that the Xtreme were able to get it, but the Rage gave it.
Cool. Ryan Shea at the 20 has been unable to really get loose, just like his teammates today.
Jeff, you left the game in the first half with separated shoulder. Any idea how long you're going to be sidelined?
Well, it's kind of for sure right now. I would probably guess 3 or 4 weeks, but it's hard to tell.
So there's a chance you could be back for the playoffs?
Possible.
Week 7 of the XFL, just 3 weeks to go after this. And in case you're not aware, the divisions each with 4 teams. The top 2 teams in the East, the top 2 in the West will meet and actually go across the divisions. Number 2 East playing number 1 West. Number 2 West playing number 1 East. In the first round of the playoffs, setting up the big game at the end. 3rd week of April as Bailey is taken down. Right now, even if Orlando loses this, Bob, they would look at something like 6-1. And New York would be 3 back. But New York plays them next week. It could be a long shot still, but if they had been were to pull off the game we have next week right here.
One trade, 962 on 2
Orlando, they could pull within 2 of Orlando for first with 3 games to go.
That's right. You know, and again, but the one thing too, I mean, it's a short season. It's only 10 games, so you know you got to get it while you can get it, and you can't afford to slack off at all at the end.
Oh, come on, guys! Copeland with a gain on a skinny Culver. A nice pickup down to the 41-yard line. You know, even with the score, had the Rage not made the critical mistakes, particularly the turnovers. One in the end zone and cashed in there and not gave away really a touchdown at the end of the second quarter. They'll still be in the game.
Well, it's not even just the turnover, but I mean, the mistakes, the penalties. And we're talking, what, 11, 12 penalties now. And this has just kept them from keeping drives going. We saw at halftime that they dominated time of possession, but if you have the ball, they can't do anything with it. It doesn't do any good. Nothing.
Rage did catch the fortune of getting both San Francisco and Las Vegas at home this year. The only road games they've played were at Memphis and at New York. So the schedule has been favorable. 4 of their first 6 were at home. They had to come back in 4 of 6, and they were the first ones to admit to us yesterday, talking to them, Bob, they weren't overplaying the 6-0 because they haven't been dominant despite a dominating record.
Exactly. They've been winning the games, but it's not like they've just been blowing people out, which is fine. I mean, you don't want to see
take the win.
Exactly. And these guys have just they've fought along. They've got talent on that team. There's no doubt about it. We're just not seeing it today. For some reason, they went to a passing attack early instead of staying with.
Don't let me get too many of them.
Derek Clark had been with other running backs, had been the heart of that offense. Getting it going, setting the run, working the pass off of that. Today it's been all pass.
0 trade.
Really going out of the normal game plan. Today, Derek Clark, 5 carries, 11 yards. I believe on 2 of those carries they were called back for penalties and holding. So it really has been way out of their normal game plan.
Copeland looking to fire, get a man open, he's got it. Diallo Burks inside the 5, down to the 3 for the Rage, who certainly don't want to be shut out if nothing else here this afternoon.
Man, now that was a hell of a throw and catch. No doubt about it. That was a hell of a throw and a catch. Watch how the ball goes in there. He throws it to the outside shoulder, right over that outside shoulder, man. You really got to thread it in there to make that catch.
14 on 1.
Diallo Burks got his name, his mother, pregnant, so I contested on the TV game show. Remember the Joker's Wild? There was somebody named Diallo, and that's how he got his first name. Meanwhile, Copeland for a touchdown, diving in. He's got a touchdown Rage. So Brian Copeland, finally for the Rage, tasting the end zone, and Orlando is on the board.
Well, they've certainly got a stigma to live up to, and that's letting the LA beat them up the way they did today, but at least they didn't give them the shutout. The naked boot off the fake, wide open. Copeland,
0-9-69,
he was going for it all by himself.
10 minutes remaining. As the Rage still thinking about firing back. Not positive, it's been done before. Copeland fires flag down. Before way over the head of Kevin Swain. And you know, on that play, if you're beat as a defender, why not?
Yep. 29.
Yeah, it was Ricky Parker was in a way, just standing in the way.
Pass interference defense. 29. The ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. Repay the try.
It's only a difference of 1 yard. For 1 point, they still got to go for it anyway.
Still got to go for it anyway, but
slant against Delta, the inside guy's got to go to the slant.
Huh?
Right?
Al Luganville is not thinking about his dinner plans. He's still very much concerned about what is going on. Time a handoff, and the running game hasn't gone anywhere today, and it doesn't there. Matt Kennelly Makes the stop for LA, so it remains 31-6.
14.
Now, if you're thinking at all about staying in the game, you got to be thinking onside kick. We'll see if it happens when we come back.
From the guys who brought you Mary comes a comedy.
We're gonna save some for the honeymoon.
What are you saying, Gilly?
That gets to those hard-to-reach areas. Say It Isn't So.
That was you on the internet.
Rated R. Friday, only in theaters.
I'm walking around mud, rocks, rain. My feet are comfortable, and that's the most important thing.
With Wolverine DuraShocks, comfort is a guarantee.
Honey, did you get paper plates? You got ice, right?
Short trips really beat up your engine, but Pennzoil with Pure Base is formulated to protect against the harshness of everyday driving. We can't change the way you have to drive, but we can protect you from it.
What kind of steaks did you get?
Stop and go. Protection from Pennzoil.
Buy 5 quarts of Pennzoil and a Purelator Premium Oil Filter at Pep Boys and get $3 back by mail.
Thinking of you. Love always. Jessica.
They're beautiful.
They smell so nice.
You're a lucky man.
The Whopper says, nothing says I love you like flame-broiled beef.
Mind if I call her?
In the land of burgers, the flame-broiled Whopper is king.
The XFL on TNN is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Never miss a genuine opportunity. By Say It Isn't So, from the guys that gave you There's Something About Mary, Friday. And by Burger King. In the land of burgers, Whopper is king.
Back in beautiful Los Angeles, an absolutely spectacular weekend. I think they took the weather we had last week in San Francisco and threw it down here. And you live there. You've had a lot of rain lately on the weekend.
I'm surprised there's so many people out. I figured they'd be out at the beaches or something. They've been raining every week in Southern California. Hey. Finally, it's a sign of spring. But I guess the sign of spring now in Los Angeles is Xtreme football.
Well, they got the word. That's for sure. The XFL in town, and they've made it a part of their Sports Sunday. Catch a game near you. Came and done on the return and did kick it. Dern turning the corner. Dunn's got some room at the 40. And knocked out the 42. Why wouldn't you try an onside kick there?
Yeah, because I mean, there's still a lot of time left. I mean, this isn't.
Not if you don't kick it. If you want to win.
You know, all you have to do, if you can stop them, you don't want to put the Xtreme, first off, in a position of good field position again. It's all been bad field position for the Rage. If you kick try the inside kick and you don't make it, the Xtreme gets it, you're automatically in bad field position.
You need, what, 4 scores here to try and win the game. 4 scores. There's only 9 minutes to go. If you want to win the game, you got to kick the onside kick.
But if they're going to win, it's going to come down to this. The defense is going to have to succeed. And if they can stop them 3 and out, then they can get the ball in pretty good field position.
New quarterback for the first time this year, the absolute top selection of the inaugural XFL draft back on October 28th. He does not get a chance to stab it right now. Scott Milanovic is in.
Tommy Maddox, a big win today. Now you get a chance to take a breather. Today was almost too easy for you, buddy.
Well, it was exciting. The offensive line did a great job. The defense did a great job. And when we got down there, we put a lot of points on the board. So it's a good opportunity to get Scott in there and let him play a little bit.
Well, you have a lot of offensive weapons. That was really obvious today with all the receivers you have, the great running backs who are emerging. You guys are really poised for a great run to the title, huh?
Well, we just got to take it 1 week at a time. This is a big one for us. We'll go next week.
Milanovic handing off to McCullough for a few yards.
Hey, I don't know how much time is left on Lee's clock.
Hey, Lee, you down there, Lee Ribbon?
Yes, sir.
How much time's left on your clock? Is your game over?
I'm just about out of gas, buddy.
Okay, well, you told him.
I'm going to hang out with the cheerleaders to get my massage finished.
You're giving him the win already. 9 minutes to go.
Give me,
Lee will never make it as a coach, that's for sure.
44. I want it.
Scott Milanovic, the Maryland Terrapins all-time leading passer.
Baker.
Most of Boomer
44.
Esiason's records there.
44.
Excellent student of the game. Hand off to McCullough. But Al Lugerman was telling me yesterday, when I asked him, he said Milanovic does not get any snaps at all in practice. Usually the second guy gets a third, like the Orlando quarterback, gets.
Copeland gets a third. Right, he gets exactly a third of it. He gets none of it. That's amazing. And you don't see that often. Now, what they do get, they get snaps, but it's usually the snaps for the other team's scout team. So, I mean, you're throwing the ball, you're handing off the ball, but as far as the timing of your game plan, now you're not getting much play. And you saw his first possession,
Combo.
they blew the Cajuns
first
time.
Well,
and there you go again.
There, but late flag. Milanovic threw it anyway because he's been dying to throw the ball for a long time.
Well, once again, the cadence thing is, I don't know, it can throw both sides off. No. First play it threw off the offense. This time might have thrown off the defense.
Huddle up. No, you're fine. Is that first down, Hawk?
Defense. Left guard. 5 yards. Still third down.
Now he's thrown off the defense because he didn't take any snaps.
That's right.
Well, there's a big guy, the left tackle getting a little breather, Jerry Kraft. Big Daddy, they call him. Bob Golick found out why.
He is a team player. To see him just kiss his buddy. That is one big guy. I stood next to him for a while. Not many people make me feel small.
Go. I'm back out, big D. I'm back out.
375.
44.
Pass complete, but Bob, you had a chance, and we'll check in on this in a moment, to actually have dinner with the 375-pounder out of Buffalo, New York. Now, was there enough food in the restaurant for you two guys, or what?
Well, without a doubt, we made sure we got the restaurant that had plenty of food. And, we just sat down and did the whole lineman thing. Sit down, order as much meat as you can get, and eat until you can't move anymore.
He's played in all five.
Although I was a little disappointed that he saved room for dessert. I thought he would have filled himself up on just beef. No, I filled myself up on meat. I wasn't going for the foo-foo stuff.
44.
Play action. He's going to throw. Dropped by Leatherwood. Here's more on that big dinner.
Gentlemen, you're hungry.
Oh, yeah. I don't have to be polite and wait, do I? No. Okay, good. Yeah, this right here is really good. I don't want that good away. What's the heaviest you've ever been? It's 409. It's not 410. That's right. 410 would be fat.
You got your boys getting all the huddle going. Look at the size of that guy. He's got to be 404 even.
What do you mean?
45. There he is.
45.
Oh, they love Big Daddy and that big gut of his.
But we were talking to him, too. See what he said. Playing at 375. The most he's been at about 409.
Actually, though, Bob, I mean, most offensive linemen are not chiseled like the other players, but if you look at the size of this guy, he may have a little bit extra, but not a lot. He's a big man.
Right, you're exactly right. He's big, he's thick. That head is chiseled, that's for sure.
And he doesn't get any extra cheap weight with the hair.
And you want to know something? You want to know something? I've been retired for about 7 years now. He gave me a look back into the locker room that just literally scared me. I forgot that it was like that in the locker room.
A lot of it throwing nearly picked off the line of scrimmage by James Roberson.
Good route, Frank.
Good route. Now you go by Big Daddy, and after watching all that food you consume, the crowd behind you, good luck. Good thing it's a nice warm day today, or you might not have burned any of that off.
That's right. We had a good day today offensively, and I'm glad the whole team, defense, and everybody put a good show on for these fans,
Now, are you really 375, or is that just to keep the girls loving you?
I'm 352, but I'm still pretty.
Well, he was listed at 375. I'm just wondering, maybe Lee can follow up. Who ate more, Golick or Kraft?
Let me just say this. He leaned over and said to me, "Are you going to finish that?"
In the end zone, smartly let go by Skinny Culver. As soon as it hits the end zone, automatically comes back to the 20. That's where the rage will take over as LA is feasting today. But this time it's on Orlando.
On March 30th, the bachelor party begins.
You want to join us?
I'm never getting married, right, honey?
Who the man? You the man.
You colossal moron.
Let's swap some bodily fluids, baby.
Tomcats.
I should really be heading home. It's a school night.
Well, today the Rage may be hanging their heads a bit after what has been a terrific season so far, averaging, Bob, a league high 26. The rushing yards not there today, 6 points. I don't think it's just the fact that the rush attack has worked. Nothing really worked for the Rage today.
No, they got out of the rush game early, forced themselves to pass all day, and they attacked. And one of the keys here was penalties. Their season average was 5.8 penalties per game. Today, 13. And it's not just the number of penalties, but it's when they come sometimes. It really hurts you.
In motion, Skinny Culver.
Nice catch.
Swain gets the catch to the 37-yard line.
There's the Keyshawn Johnson.
He's out here.
Yeah, well, Scott Milanovic.
GM's right there. You know, it's I'm going to start coaching, and I needed something to do until I finished my degree. Because we just bought a house and just bought another house upstate New York.
What are you doing? Keyshawn Johnson. Talkative Milanovic. Go over the middle, complete to Swain. Kevin Swain diving inside the 50-yard line. Oh, listen in a little more.
I'm about to throw one deep. No, I don't. I stopped dipping. My man's got the expensive yellow diamonds. He's got the expensive yellow diamonds.
I had DeWitt with me yesterday.
Keyshawn Johnson on the right there in the tan shirt with the jeans. Great wide receiver for the Trojan as well. A lot of UCLA and USC stars are out here playing. Mario Bailey making the catch there.
On the ball, on the ball, on the ball, on the ball.
Ralph, he was on the ground now. Well, with under 5 minutes left, under 4 minutes left, I don't think they think at this point they're going to be able to put enough points on the board to win this one. But at least they want to work on some hurry up, learn some things, and look respectable finishing it up.
Copeland with some time throwing, nearly picked off. Yes, it is picked off. It's picked off by Reggie Durden of Los Angeles. Hang on. Referee's jumping into it. Yes, it will be an interception. But he was stopped around the 30-yard line.
Once again, this defense, whether it's rushing or covering, unbelievable, great position. Look at him right underneath the receiver. I don't know why that ball was thrown. That ball was thrown right to Durden.
The Orlando Rage were hoping to clinch first today, but so far it has been the Xtreme #1. Still holding out hope for home field overall. Big hits today in this game, Bob Golick.
If you want to live in the trenches, take a listen. Then make your decision.
No thanks.
It's like music.
I don't think so.
Look at that.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, right. They scored a touchdown. Look at that determination. You don't want the helmet ripped off your head, though.
Orlando Rage came in very excited, and they know they got a lot of season to go. 6-1 after this game.
And like we were saying before, a lot of people don't realize this. There's a certain amount of release and relief that comes with this loss for the Rage. Certainly they didn't want to lose by this amount.
44.
But man, that whole stigma of being undefeated, man, that adds an extra dimension of tension to your whole season that you don't need on top of everything else.
Now you might think, all right, they lose, they still have 3-game lead at first, not a big deal. Well, it is a big deal because with LA winning, it's now only a 1-game difference between the two teams. LA only has to make up one over the final 3, having won the head-to-head. Again, we're looking way ahead, but if it came down to the big game at the end, and LA can make up the 1 game over the final 3, and they've got 2 of those at home, then they could host the big game again if they got that far. So this game does have implications. And off to Oxendine, not to mention making a statement to the Rage and to the XFL that the Xtreme are here to stay. Of course, XFL coming up on UPN at 7 o'clock Eastern. The Demons of San Francisco at 3-3. They're going to need a win to stay a game back of LA. Chicago Enforcers. Crucial game for the Enforcers tonight, Bob. If they lose, they're 2 out of the second place playoff spot with 3 to go. If they win, they're just a game out of the playoff spot.
Yeah, they've been battling hard all season. I think at the beginning of the year, they didn't think they were going to be that close. But like I said, it's a short season. You got to win it when you can, and it's going to be a tough one.
As we're making our way up the hill, I can hear gunshots echoing in the distance.
Fires, once you had that magazine,
I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done this before.
left side is ready, right side is ready, the middle is ready.
It's all about precision and confidence.
Log on. Watch Michelle hit the mark. Only at GoArmy.com.
If you can't stop here,
It'll be good for the Xtreme in that sense. But the one thing we're noticing, too, is that there's, I don't say there's a total changeover of power, but some teams are starting to finally get in sync. So it's hard to tell what that end of the season schedule is truly going to give to them.
Maddox had a huge day, couple of touchdowns. I'm alive. Let's get the chance. And he finds Darnell McDonald, who already has 2 touchdowns. And man, up 25 points. They're still throwing the ball. They want to give Milanovic some experience, but I'm wondering if Orlando Rage are a little ticked off on the sidelines. They're throwing bombs.
Cover 2, huh? Well, I don't know about that. I mean, they want to be able to move the ball, and you can't tell Scott Milanovic who you're trying to get some experience to just to hand the ball off.
We don't allow.
But the thing is, McDonald had so beaten Ricky Bell out in the deep that he had to throw it. Milanovic had to throw the ball to him.
He could just run it, though, right off the bat.
You know, McDonald was standing there waving his arms like, you know, he was the last guy picked for a softball game.
I'm sure Al Luganville will say, hey, we want to get Art back up. So important in the XFL, as we've seen in the recent weeks. Some playing time.
That's all this is about. It's not about running the score up. Al Luganville is not like, none of these coaches that I've been able to tell, you know, are that kind of person. This is all about getting Milanovic good, true experience, not handoff right, handoff left.
Tommy Maddox has been the class of the XFL quarterback so far today. 3 first-half touchdowns. He threw for 2, he ran for another, and he played error-free football once again for the 3rd straight week.
Where'd you get
His replacement, Scott Milanovic, the first pick of the draft this year, finally getting a chance, first snaps of the season.
You got the edge, the edge. Get on the line, Gibby. 44, hot. Nobody knew. We didn't have our big
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Offense, number 13. 5 yards. The down remains second.
Didn't matter it was a delay of game.
Nice job, Juan.
They were going into the take a knee
nice job, baby.
formation.
Hey,
Al is finally conceding victory here. 42 seconds left, and yes, a smile from the head coach. And why not? Well-deserved effort for his Xtreme.
The Xtreme will protect themselves and take a knee. But at this point, all but over.
Huge monster win for the LA Xtreme.
I think we got one more snap. Good job, Reggie.
You know,
boy.
The LA Xtreme
Good
will
job,
go to 5-2 and take a 1-game lead on Vegas. Orlando now with Jeff Brom injured and hoping to be back for the playoffs if he's even out 3 weeks. That will be determined in the coming week. Al Luganville and the LA Xtreme a huge 31-6 victory and undefeated no longer. The Miami Dolphins at 72 can celebrate.
Coach, is this one of those games you just chalk it up and say we got outplayed today?
Yeah, I mean, they played an excellent game. We lost field position all day. We couldn't get anything going offensively. Played extremely well defensively and offensively. And the kicking game. They were an extremely good football team today.
How much is it going to hurt you with Jeff Brom on the sidelines for at least the next 3 or 4 weeks?
Well, it always hurts you when you lose your starting quarterback. We've got to go back, regroup. We got confidence in Brian Kuklik, and we'll have to go from there.
Were you happy with what you saw in Kuklik this afternoon?
Well, I think Brian can handle it. I don't have any doubts about that. We just got to go back and practice a little bit.
All right, Coach.
Coach, a big win against the Rage. This wasn't a big win. This was a good old-fashioned ass whooping.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that. That's for you to say.
I'll say it again. This is a good old-fashioned ass whooping, Coach.
I've competed against Galen and his staff too many years to know that this is one of those days where everything went our way, and our guys made a lot of plays.
Now, your team seemed to be very confident. When does it become a potential overconfidence, and how are you going to keep these guys pumped up for the remainder of the season going into the big game at the end?
Like they got 24 hours to celebrate this, and then it's on to Las Vegas, and they know that. That's how we've gotten where we are, and we got to continue it now.
You're giving them a whole 24 hours?
Whole 24 hours.
I'm hiding at home tonight then.
Thank you.
Al Luganville with his hot LA Xtreme, winners of 3 straight, behind Tommy Maddox, who is outstanding today for the Xtreme.
Hey, Brian, really a tough game for you guys. How do you guys bounce back and come back next week?
You know, we just got to go back and practice like we have been. You know, we've won 6 games straight. You hate to... Today was one of those days, and we just got to get back and prepare like we have been.
Have you guys ever had that many breakdowns on the offensive line like you had today?
No, never. You know, the first quarter, we're the least penalized team in the league, and we come out, we got penalties all over the place. So, you know, just from the very get-up, it didn't go for us.
Now, if this team gets into the playoffs, you're going to be the guy that has to lead them. What are you going to do, and are you looking forward to that?
I can't wait. You know, I've been looking forward to this, and looking forward to taking the first snap next week and playing the whole game.
All right, Brian.
Tommy Maddox, we already talked about a big win about halfway through the end of the 4th quarter. Coming up next week, how do you guys stay pumped and ready to go into the draft for the end?
Well, you know, next week's a big division game for us, so it won't take long to get us pumped up. This was a good win for us, but next week we get back into the division, and we got to go play well.
Well, Coach Luganville says you got 24 hours to enjoy this. How are you going to enjoy it?
Well, I'm going to go home and be with my family, but everybody will enjoy it. We'll get back to work next week. Everybody knows what we got to do, so we're still a long way from where we want to be.
Well, they told me the hot tub's empty if you want to go down to the end zone there.
Well, that might not be too bad.
Tommy Maddox accounting for 3 touchdowns today, and everybody wants a piece of the quarterback who started for UCLA and left after his sophomore year, twirled to the NFL for several years.
Hey, Jermaine, Copeland, you guys came out here and made a statement today.
Oh, yeah, big time. Hey, we knew that an undefeated team, but we know we got a better team. The LA Xtreme hadn't really played real football till today, and that's what we came out and did, played real football.
You guys think you would dominate the way you did today?
Oh, yeah, basically, we totally dominated. I mean, the whole offense and defense, that's just the LA Xtreme at its best right there. If we play like that the rest of the season, everything's on lock. You can guarantee that.
Is this a team that can win the championship?
This is a team that's going to blow somebody out at the championship, trust me.
Very nice. Confidence.
Juan Long, a defensive spectacular performance today, and one play sticks out in everybody's mind. It was you hitting Jeff Brom, and the young guy's out for a couple of weeks.
It was a big game for us. You know, Brom was a big QB for them. Really, he's their leader on the team. Once he got out, we were saying that we were going. You know, he killed the head, body followed.
Now, a lot of people have said that the defense for the Xtreme hasn't quite been keeping up with the offense. Does this kind of silence those critics, you think?
It definitely does. I mean, beginning of the year, I know we had big plans, but so far last 2 games, we ain't put up the par. This game here, we came out, played well. No, the critics not being quiet.
I hear Tommy Maddox wants you to join him in the hot tub in the end zone. Great game.
All right.
The LA Xtreme smiling today after this huge victory. 25-zip in the half, 31-6 the final. We'll be back with more. We'll go to the locker rooms and catch up more with the players. The LA Xtreme moves to 5-2 in a 1-game edge in the West. The Orlando Rage, their first defeat of the season. They fall to 6-1. Back with more from the LA Coliseum in just a moment. You're watching the XFL on the National Network.
The Weekend Warrior. He doesn't play for money. He doesn't play for glory. He plays
1 win. For the Enforcers, it has been the story of their season.
It looked like Chicago had the victory in hand. And who would have thunk it?
I don't like losing to nobody and nothing.
They have only tasted it once, yet they find themselves in the hunt for a playoff spot.